currently right here at the Benin airport to welcome Father Christmas all the way from Norway. That was the arrival of Father Christmas all the way from Norway.
Ó dá ilé wọn fi kí n káàbọ̀ sínú Abala Lerefe nínú ìpàdé ọlọ́mọlé ètò ní o. Ayọ̀ abara tíntín. Wọ́n ní wọ́n ti bá yín gbé baba Kérésìmọ̀ láti Norway. Ṣé ẹ rí àwọn kí ni mo kọ́kọ́ rò pé Renan ṣe ni mo rò pé comedy skit ni o. Wọ́n mọ̀ ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wọn ló gbé dé. Eléyìí lágbára ìyẹn ààrẹ Ẹdó ẹ ṣe nǹkan ò ẹjá kó ń bẹ́ o. Ìròyìn ayọ̀ míì tá a tún mú bọ̀ wá fún yín nínú àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn lónìí ó náà ni wípé orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà wọ́n ti gbégi dínà gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ní ọwọ́ wọn wà nídìí pé wọ́n fìyà jẹ kìrìsìtẹ́nì. Wọ́n ní visa ban, àwọn restrict wọn, àwọn ban wọn, gbogbo ẹ̀ náà lẹ́gbọ̀n nínú àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn lónìí àfẹ́ fìyún léde súnmẹ́jáwo díẹ̀ nínú ìwọ́de fẹ́ẹ́rẹ́jógí tí àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà tán ṣe ní Washington lánàá. Kékeré bíntín náà ni ṣùgbọ́n ó nítumọ̀ gan-an.
Americans in solidarity with Nigeria, members of the U.S. Congress, sandwiched here between the two very noble buildings of the Senate, House of Representatives, buildings that house great minds that have stood up for Nigeria at various times.
Hello, Nigerians. Hello, my friends. All right, so this is Frank Gotor speaking from Washington, D.C., United States of America. I greet you all. So on December 1st, 2025, we had a very great rally at the Capitol Hill, the official square for the Congress of the United States. So we, members of the Save Nigeria group, and a lot of friends of Nigeria in the United States, staged a very solid rally and made our voices so resonant and sent home a message. And we're able to meet congressmen from both chambers of the Congress. And thereafter, the day culminated with a meeting at the Harry S. Truman building. That's the headquarters of the Department of State of the United States, the office of the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. We had a great meeting with officials of the Department of State. And I want to tell you something that...
Ó dá gbogbo yòókù tó bá fẹ́ sọ lónìí torí Marco Rubio náà òun ló fi léde wípé ti báànù gbogbo àwọn olórí Nàìjíríà pátápátá tán bá lọ́wọ́ nínú kìíní. Ẹ wò ẹ gbọ́ kúlẹ̀kúlẹ̀ nínú àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn lónìí bí ó ṣe lọ ní Congress lónìí àti bí wọ́n ṣe ń gbèrò wípé ń tí ń jẹ́ Sharia law kò gbọdọ̀ sí mọ́ Nàìjíríà. Ẹ wo ìròyìn tó ní ìròyìn ayọ̀ míì ìtùnú ṣùgbọ́n àfihàn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ rẹ̀ nínú àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn ẹjẹ́ àtẹ̀wájú àròjọ mùsùlùkùn. Ní báyìí ẹjá sáré délé Haúsá ní pápápá náà ní níbi tá a ti rí tí ọwọ́ ti bá olè kan tó rè jí odidi truck ọkọ̀ àjàgbé àwọn tó ní ọkọ̀ ló dúró yìí wọ́n ti wá fẹjọ́ sun àwọn àmì ní ibi tán ti gbégi dínà wípé ọkọ̀ kan ń bọ̀ wọ́n àìjáàkẹ́ olè ló gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn rọ́bìrì gangan gidi ni àwọn wá ṣáájú ẹ̀ débí wípé ó dáa o ibi ìlọ́gbà kọjá ló náà bá ń dúbọ̀ ní sáré bọ̀ ẹjẹ́ àjọ wò ó dàbí fíìmù Amẹ́ríkà wọ́n pàpà yìnbọn lù ó ọkọ̀ sì ó yí lulẹ̀ báyìí tọwọ́ fi bà á ẹjẹ́ àwò náà ní bọ̀ lọ́ọ̀kan yìí kéèyàn rè jí odidi ọkọ̀ àjàgbé kò mọ̀ bóyá epo wà nú ẹ̀ tí ò bá wá sépo nú ẹ̀ bó ló ṣe ibo lo mọ̀ tó ń jí gbé lọ báyìí.
zai gudu ba zai gaya ba zai kada motar nan ba zai kada motar nan inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi ya kada ita wallahi ya kada motar amma dan mu
iná ìláyílẹ̀ yìí náà wọ́n ti dágbére fún tiwọn nù wípé ọwọ́ ti bà á mọ́tò yẹn yí dànù ìgbà yẹn ló tó dúró kò fẹ́ dúró rárá èmi ò mọ bí téèyàn ti ń jí ọkọ̀ àjàgbé odidi àjàgbé wọ́n sì lò lẹ́rù nínú ẹjẹ́ àwòrán torí wọ́n dún kùkù lájà mọ́ níbẹ̀ náà wípé bó bá fi lè tó gbẹ́sẹ̀ tàbí tó rè mú nǹkan kan jáde tó náà fẹ́ fi dojúkọ àwọn wípé yóò léwu fún o kó yá káwọ́ rẹ̀ sókè náà ni kó yá àgbàfọ́ lọ́hùn o ẹjẹ́ wá wò káti ẹ̀wò bóyá ó jáde ńbẹ̀ ẹ̀wò mọ́tò bó ṣe yí dànù bíi fíìmù ni.
zai gudu duben da ya kada rike nan
eléyìí lágbára oríṣiríṣi ìran ìrèké gan kọ́ ni mo rí tó kó yìí ó lè ó sì rìn gbé Nàìjíríà oríṣiríṣi ọ̀bẹ làárí lọ́jọ́ ọkú erin ẹjẹ́ àpò ń bẹ̀ jàre. Ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà gan ìgbà míì tó bá lónìí rẹ́rìn nínú gbogbo ìlò Nàìjíríà yìí náà ó tún bẹ̀rìn dé. Ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ àtẹ̀wájú jàre. Ẹ jẹ́ wá sáré dé Yágbà níbi tá a ti gbọ́ tán sọ wípé àwọn ọlọ́pàá tán kó lọ bẹ̀ pé kán rè dáàbò bo aráàlú kán sì dojúkọ àwọn báńdíìtì Yágbà ní Kogi ni o. Wọ́n ní wọ́n rè dáàbò bolẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ ni o àti tíá gáàsì àti gbogbo ẹ̀. Wọ́n náà pé èèyàn méjì bá a ṣe gbọ́ ṣùgbọ́n a rí kọ̀ǹfàmù ẹ̀ fún yín bó bá ṣe ń lọ torí wọ́n ní nǹkan dàrú ń bẹ́ mu ní sí àwọn èèyàn náà wá ní kán lọ dojúkọ sí ẹ̀wọ̀n pé mò ń sọ fún yín wípé àwọn tán ní kán kókò lẹ́yìn àwọn VIP ìyára wọn gbẹ̀ kan ìkanra náà fi lọ sí gbogbo ibi tán bá kó wọn lọ. Ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ àkó ń bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ àtẹ̀wájú àmọ́ jẹ́ yín lábọ̀ bá sì jẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni lórí ti General Musa wọ́n ti approve General Musa o ṣùgbọ́n drama díẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ nílé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin bánú àkójọpọ̀ ròyìn lónìí ṣùgbọ́n ẹjẹ́ sáré gbọ́ lẹ́nu kanú àwọn ọmọléeṣẹ́ ológun tó ń fohùn lẹ̀ wípé General Musa bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti débẹ̀ tán review salary àwọn iye báyìí láwọn ń gbà o gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọléeṣẹ́ ológun mo ní àwọn ará bí ò ní mòrá kankan o in fact tẹ́ ẹ bá gbọ́ wípé wọ́n ṣe nǹkan kan nínú iléeṣẹ́ ológun ìjọba ló fà ẹ jẹ́ àgbọ́yé salary tán fún wọn.
A soldier's salary is 104,000 if you enter. If you don't spend 5 years, they give you new rank. Your salary is 112,000 naira. If you spend 10 years, they give you another rank, which is corporal. You earn 115,000 naira. That is, if you spend 5 years and if you spend 10 years, the difference of the salary is 3,000 naira, 112,000 and 115,000. If you spend 15 years in the service, 15 years, your salary is 125,000 naira. Then if you spend 20 years in the service, your salary is 150,000 naira. This implementation starts this year. Before now, a soldier salary is 50,000 naira. If you spend 5 years, they give you one rank because the rank sometimes na 5 years. Some people, some forces, they do 6 years. Go do 6 years before they give you rank. Some go tell you go do 5 years before they give you rank. So if you spend 5 years, no matter somebody use the 5 years, and they give you new rank, your salary will be 52,000 naira. If you spend 10 years, your salary will be around 60,000 naira. Then if you spend 15 years, your salary will be around that kind of 70,000 naira. And if you spend 20 years, your salary should be around that kind of 90,000 plus. However, there are other allowances. You get what they call, you get the allowance now compulsory. Like for Navy now, they call them, how you call them? For Navy now, they call them diving allowance. Diving allowance for Navy is 25,000 naira. All personnel are entitled to it. I don't know for now if they don't increase them. Army, they call them grumbling allowance. The allowance is 20,000 naira. Navy collect 25,000 naira. Army collect 20,000 naira for that grumbling allowance every month. Then Air Force, I don't know how they call their own, but I think it's also the same range. So if you join out with your salary, that's what you earn for the month. If they carry you go somewhere like location, if they get someone who they pay there, they go pay you too. But if they place like Abuja, if you calculate all those money, if you use and pay transport, for Abuja.
Ọ̀nà ẹ̀ ti gbọ́ yẹn gbọ́ ẹ bá ń calculate ẹ̀ 100 kìíní ní 15 years 20 years bóun ló ṣe ìwọ ọlọ́run kò tí ẹ̀ wọ́ 500,000 lóṣù bóun náà ṣe fẹ́ ní mòrà bóun náà ṣe fẹ́ dojúkọ àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí bóun ni wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ làlùyọ lórí wípé wọ́n ń jàjà kìíní ẹ já sòótọ́ fúnra wa. Àwọn kan tún wá ní wọ́n tún lè court martial ẹ̀ torí wọ́n ránṣẹ́ ó wá tú àṣírí wọn àṣírí irọ́ wo ló wá tú síta wọ́n yìí sọ sálárì wọn practical sí leléyìí practical rẹ̀ kì í ṣe theory ó ń gba sálárì ó sì sọ iye tí ń gbà fún wa àtàwọn akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ tètè tún ọmọlúwàbí yín ṣe lọ́dọ̀ àwọn ológun yìí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀gá wọn General Musa tẹ̀sẹ̀ débẹ̀ ó dáa bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ yín lálùyọ tí ìkan ṣe pẹ́ tún wá mọ̀ sọ story pé kán rè mọ́ kọ́ ògiri ẹ ṣe dáadáa fáwọn ọmọ yín o ẹ já kó bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ já tẹ̀síwájú. Ó ra ẹja wọ inú igbó kan lọ mo ní àyà ìbò ní location bí ó ní wò lórí Google Map mo ní ìwò àyà ẹ̀ èmi ò mọ location ò bẹ́ẹ̀ á gbọ́ lẹ́nu ẹni tí ń sọ̀rọ̀ nínú fọ́nrán yìí yóò sọ location fún àwọn sàsọ wípé àwọn ọmọ ológun náà fún ní intelligence tán sì wọnú igbó tán sì bá àwọn tán sọ wípé wọ́n ti kó síbẹ̀ láti wá ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀daràn wọ́n ní bọ́n ṣe ń kó wọn kiri tán já wọn kiri inú igbó nìyẹn ẹ jẹ́ ṣọ́ra ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá abálájọ tí General Musa fi ń sọ wípé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá òun náà ló lálàáfíà jù ó sọ ní sẹ́nẹ̀tì lónìí ẹ gbọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n kí àlàáfíà yìí kó mọ́ bá di fíafíà inú àwọn àti ò lálàáfíà òdùn o wọ́n fẹ́ balẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ́ o.
Baba
Amakaje Fulani Taraba daji. Ise no ta o se na bush. Where you pikin baba? Where that press man? Oli.
No, can you come back?
Go to the press. So you go that place. See everything in us now. The other come see everything in us now.
Can come out for that? Yes.
If you like, can
you come out for that road? Shift. Tell yourself, open that road. Open the road like this. Straight. Keep me to there. Open and good anya. Just open and tell yourself come out for road. Open and like this. Straight.
move like this, straight line. Enter out to drive.
ẹ wo mo lanú lẹ̀ báyìí ní o tẹ́ ẹ fi gbọ́rọ̀ mi tí mo ẹnu ni mo là á lẹ̀ báyìí bí ìgò tàdá tí mò ń wò tí mò ń ronú pé bó ló ṣe jẹ́ bó la ṣe wòra wọn àràn débi wọn nírú igbó yìí nílẹ̀ Haúsá inú igbó wọn ìrí báyìí igbó Yorùbá ní mọ̀ dí báyìí tàbí igbó ilẹ̀ Ìgbò àwọn olórí àwọn ọba yín tí ń ṣe sẹrímónì kiri wọn àti ìmọ̀ tó ṣubú tọ̀ wọn o wọn àti ìmọ̀ nǹkan kan tó kan àwọn o mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n change story pé wọ́n yìí ṣe bandit ṣùgbọ́n bandit làwọn tèmi ń wò yìí bandit wọn àbíṣe oko láàlá
the northern leaders, you know that all along they think that they are clever. They are using these terrorists to intimidate all of us to get what they want. You know, whenever they want anything, they unleash these guys to make things uncomfortable for all of us. I will now be scrambling to please them and all that. Meanwhile, they will now stay back and then be talking, making political statements, making political demands. Why their boys are disturbing the government. That is how they have been operating, using these guys as a leverage against some of us, because they know that down south here, we are mostly Christians and very peaceful. We don't want this violence. But they are using it against us now. The thing has backfired, like every other thing like this. You know, those who ride on the back of the tiger always end up on the belly of the tiger. It's like the knot is about to end up in the belly of the tiger, because the guys are on rampage now. And they are thinking that if care is not taken, this may boomerang into a war. Because if this thing continue, all these attacking Christians, killing Christians, kidnapping Christians, don't you think that at a point the Christians will rise up and there will be a problem in this country? So the country they want to control will no longer be there. That is their fear now. This thing that they are not doing it for you. They have realized that at a point something will give. Not now that America is now interested in what is going on here. If they continue this attack, I bet my last couple something will give. The people that are not interested in this violence and killing and kidnapping, they will say, no, we are leaving Nigeria. And then who will now come and say, okay, come, who? Who will come and say it? That's what they are afraid of. So if they really mean what they are saying, because they have said something like this before, but at the end of the day, nothing happened. The state police, will they be working with the Hizbah police in the north? Please tell me. Will they allow them to work? Because the state police are going to work according to the constitution. Don't you see a clash here?
Yes.
ṣé rí pé ayé Fúlàní darandaran ti bàjẹ́ ìjọba ń ṣe fídíò yẹ̀ wò ká tí wọ́n ń ṣe fáwọn àgbẹ̀ nígbà téèyàn gbin wọ́támẹ́lọ̀ tọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ lé kúrò lórí oko ẹ̀ tẹ́ wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fún àwọn màálù ní wọ́támẹ́lọ̀ jẹ tí wọ́n bá ta màálù gan ṣé owó rẹ̀ lè ra wọ́támẹ́lọ̀ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bàjẹ́ jì nígbà tí bá ta wọ́támẹ́lọ̀ ẹyọ kan níbi 1,500 èló gan ni màálù gan tóun gan ń dà ṣé rí wípé ìwọ̀ ẹranko pátápátá òun làwọn Fúlàní yìí ń wù ẹjọ́ bá ń ṣe fídíò yìí.
àní kò tiẹ̀ gbàbí kan yé mi mọ́ wickedness upon wickedness wọ́n mọ̀ fẹ́ mọ̀ ṣe ẹ wò wà ìbàjẹ́ ta wá lẹ́ranko nínú àwọn àti màálù wọn gangan lẹ́ranko ẹjẹ́ kó ń bẹ́ o ibi tá a ti ń ré kọjá lọ náà ní ojú ọ̀nà Enugu sí Onitsha òun náà láti ṣe alábàápàdé àwọn èèyàn wá tí ẹ fẹ́ ra nǹkan mímu ká fi pòǹgbẹ ni la bá rí wípé tírélà kan ló ṣubú dànù fanta nkankan ẹlẹ́rìndòdò tó wà nù rẹ̀ náà ló ṣubú dànù o in fact wọ́n ní tírélà gan ti gbiná ṣùgbọ́n ìwọ̀nba táwọn èèyàn kó nú ẹ̀ àwọn nǹkan tó dànù wọ́n ní làwọn èèyàn bá kúkú ń tà níbi tó ti dànù náà ti ń tà mú ni wickedness ṣe wá pọ̀ Nàìjíríà báyìí ibi tó ti dànù náà wọ́n sì jí kó lórí rẹ̀ wọ́n sì tún tànú tráfíìkì fáwọn tí ń lọ. Ó ga o pé tẹnìkan ò bá bàjẹ́ tèèyàn kan ò lè dá lọ́rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ẹja kó ń bẹ ẹja wá fi wá sí ẹ jẹ́ ká fi sọ̀rọ̀ àjìjà àti rí kan náà àwọn mùsùlùmí alálàáfíà èèyàn gidi níbi tó ti ń sọ wípé nínú Kùránù pé wọ́n pa láṣẹ fáwọn wípé àwọn gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe dáadáa pẹ̀lú kìrìsìtẹ́nì gan-an gbọ́dọ̀ mú lọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ mo ní mi ò gbọ́ rí lẹ́nu àfáà kankan lẹ̀ Yorùbá rí.
We as Muslims should be closest to the Christians. That is what he told us. That we as Muslims should be closest to the Christians. Because they are good people. So today, if you are a Muslim and you say you don't like Christians, it means you don't understand Islam. And if you are a Christian and you say you don't like Muslims, then you don't understand Christianity. There is more that unites us, the two religions, than divides us. There's so much more. But we allow people like the terrorists to hide under the cloak of religion to try to divide us.
Ogun ti promise yín pé bá ṣe mọ́ mú wá rèé bá ti ráwọn alálàáfíà nù wọn àtijọ́ ń gbé bọ̀ tipẹ́ láti ìpínlẹ̀ṣẹ̀ Kristẹni Mùsùlùmí kò sí divide and rule láàrin wa bọ́ bá ń divide and rule mú mi nínú àwọn òṣèlú wọn yìí gbé dọ́dọ̀ wọn yìí gbé dénú ẹ̀sìn tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ó ti kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ báyìí ó necessary kẹ́ ẹ gbọ́n tẹ́ ẹ gbọ́ yìí. Ó ra ẹja tẹ̀ wájú ẹja kà á síwájú ẹja dọ́dọ̀ arábìnrin àwọn kan lọ́mọ Ìgbò ni àwọn kan ní ọmọ Benin ni ọmọ Ẹdó mo ní èyíkéyìí kó ṣe ń bẹ̀ kì í ṣàṣe Yorùbá ṣùgbọ́n Yorùbá ló gbèsè lẹ́yìn inú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ó nítorí ó ń tàbùkù ọmọ Ìgbò ni ó sì ń rán wọn létí wípé ẹni tó ṣe yín lóore lẹ́ ń fojú rẹ̀ gúngi yìí o wípé kò sì dáa bẹ́ẹ̀ Yorùbá tẹ̀ ń pariwo lé lórí Yorùbá fẹ́ràn yín ọ̀nà gbà yín lẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ ogún lé.
It's good for you to tell your children what you have been through and who helped you. Did you know it's the Yoruba that helped the Igbo after the Civil War? They have no food, they have no clothes, they have no water, they have no shelter over their head. Now Yoruba, now it accommodates them, feed them, clothe them, made them to stand on their feet again. But today, what are they doing? They are shouting the Yorubas betray us. The Yorubas. They forget to know that it's the Yoruba that helped them, helped their grandfather, their great-grandfather to stand on their feet again. It's the Yorubas. No tribe help them. No tribe care about them. It's only the Yorubas. You see that brand of houses that you people are using to mock the Yorubas today? That is where your forefather and your grandfather and your great-grandfather lives to survive. Yoruba clothes them, Yoruba feed them, Yoruba give them shelter over their head. He gave them hope of life again. He made them to stand on their feet again after the Civil War. But today, go back and ask your great-grandfather. Go and ask your grandfather. Go and tell them. Go and ask them. Because we don't get whole training, not get whole training. No matter where you can go. Because when they are arrogant. No matter what you do for them. You people are just arrogant and lack of hope training. Go and ask them how Yoruba. No tribe care about you people except the Yorubas that you people are holding today. Holding responsible of your problem that you cannot solve for yourself. Go and ask.
Àwa kọ́ la rán o kì í sì ṣe Yorùbá o. Orúkọ rẹ̀ wà ń bẹ gbàgbàgbàgbà báyìí n ò lè pe ní alólọ́zọ̀ àbí nǹkan kan. In fact ọmọ Ìgbò ń kọ́kọ́ pé káàyà tó pàkíyèsí mi sí wípé ó ń jọ bí ẹni pé ọmọ Benin ni. A sì dúpẹ́ àrùn kó gbèjà wa àwọn alálẹ̀ ló wọnú rẹ̀ torí àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò yẹn ò rántí ìgbà ayé lẹ́yìn Biafra gbogbo dúkìá wọn tán fi ilẹ̀ sílẹ̀ Yorùbá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọ́n padà wà bá ní èyí tó jẹ́ Port Harcourt tó súnmọ́ wọn gan wọ́n ní gbogbo ẹ̀ pátápátá náà ti tà wọ́n rí dúkìá kankan gbà Port Harcourt wọ́n wá máa fọwọ́ lálẹ̀ àtúngbà yín ẹ̀ tún wá ń kílèmù pẹ́yìn lẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹ wò ẹ tẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ àkóhùn bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ agbọ́rọ̀ díẹ̀ lẹ́nu arákùnrin ó ń yẹ̀yẹ́ àlẹ́ àmùdá ni ṣùgbọ́n gbà mí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ mọ́ make sense ó sọ̀rọ̀ kan nípa Nnamdi Kanu bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló já ìwé ìkìlọ̀ fún àwọn tiẹ̀ wípé àwọn olóṣèlú ń tàn yín jẹ ni wọ́n fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ pín Nàìjíríà nítorí wípé àwọn rí tọ́ ìjẹ́ ń bẹ̀.
All these people you call senator, governor, they are there eating your own resources with them and their family. That is why they don't want you to divide the country. Because they are using your resources. Look at Imo State. Imo State don't even know what they have. Why should the president are coming there every time? Imo State have oil. The whole Imo State is supposed to go and fight for their oil. Imo have oil, but they don't know that that oil are taken by the federal government in the name of Nigeria, eating their own resources. That Imo State, all the whole Imo State, every son and daughters of the son of the soil of Imo State, the government must be paying you a salary and give you a job. That is why you see all those men telling you, hey, don't ever. Why should Nnamdi Kanu we feel remorse? Remorse of who? People that you're using one Nigeria, taking what belongs to you. Look at Abia State. Abia State. Aba. Look at the little money from their own resources they are getting. What if you have freedom? If we have freedom, we don't need to begging people from our money, from our resources, to give us our resources to use to develop our own country.
Àní tí ń bá rẹ́ni bí rẹ́ni ènìyàn bí rẹ́nìyàn ó yẹ̀sà inú mi á dùn ara mi á yá gágá. Wọ̀nà tí mo gbà wọlé sí yín lára Sunny Adé bàbá ẹlẹ́sìn ní Bàrígà funfun lẹ́yẹ̀sù tí ń bá wá rẹ́ni bí rẹ́ni ènìyàn bí rẹ́nìyàn ó yẹ̀sà inú mi á dùn ara mi á yá gágá. Kólótó kólótó tí ń bá rí ẹ̀yin mọ́ mi tí ń bá wá ra àwọn ìyàwó mi àwọn ẹni bí ẹni ènìyàn bí ènìyàn wọ́n pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ mi lórí ìkànnì yìí. Ẹ̀yin ọkùnrin náà ẹyẹ jowú ẹni bí ẹni lẹ́yìn náà ènìyàn bí ènìyàn o. Àní ènìyàn lásán tèmi àwọn òfèrò ń bí èèyàn ti tó wa èèyàn yàtọ̀ sérò bí ń bá rẹ́ni bí rẹ́ni ènìyàn bí ènìyàn o. Yes sir. Inú mi á dùn ara mi á yá gágá. Àwọn bíi Hamidat Okoro tó ń sọjọ́ ìbí lónìí tó ń sọjọ́ ìbí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ inú mi á dùn ara mi á yá gágá. Hamidat tí ń bá wá rí fún mi méètì mi tí mo rí bá mi fọlọ́run sọ Tanímọ́lá tí mo rí màmá mi Dorcas Jalo ní Netherlands inú mi á dùn ara mi á yá gágá. Óyá Mórelé Adésọlá Ọládèjì mi o gbogbo yín ni mo kí mi òró lòdì kan. Jeremiah Ọbaníṣọlá Stella Òdèlé Ọmọlẹ́wà Adésọlá mo dúpẹ́ Táíwò mi màmá mi tó máa ń sọ wípé aráyè Ọlọ́run á bá mi wáyè fún gbogbo yín níbi gíga. Ẹ jẹ́ á lọ sílé àtìmáàmí màámi àfipàkà. Óyá ẹ bá mi délérò ní tèmi o mọ̀mọ́ lùjẹ̀sà mi mọ̀mọ́ lùjẹ̀sàdà. Óyá kà á síwájú fún mi lọ́lá mi Bello mo rí yín o fún mi lọ́lá mi Bello. Óyá ẹ máa gbádùn lọ́kọ̀ọ̀kan. Mary Odúnóyì tèmi nìkan màámi Ajéwọlé ńkọ́ olùkú mi òkè ńlá bàbá mi Adédọ̀tun Báyọ̀ Akíngbàlà mi ẹ bá mi délé Alájà Mọ̀dínàtù mo rohun wí bá mi Fikáyọ̀ Victor mo rí yín ní kọ́nà yẹn Oríọlá oníjẹ̀gbọ́n bàbá mi oníjẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ bá mi délé bá mi Rabiu Ọlọ́pàdé Muritala Nurudeen mo rí yín. Óyá ẹ bá mi délé òní tèmi gangan Rotarian Olúwọlé bá mi Adéyẹmí òní ńkọ́ ṣẹ́ ti rẹ́lẹ́ àti mo fi ránṣẹ́ sí yín nílé o ẹ má ṣe lé wọn síta. Ó dá mo rántí bá mi Adésínà Ọládẹ́ǹdé Ọmọ́táyọ̀ Akínúsì mo rí yín. Olúyẹmísí Abígúndé ńkọ́ àpò ní ẹ̀yin lẹ́lò ní ẹmọ́ wọ̀rí àníkíra wa lónìí á kí àwọn èèyàn wa olórí ọ̀dọ́ mo dọ̀dọ̀ rẹ o YTV àti ìràrin iṣẹ́. Óyá mọ̀ mi Victoria Bádéjọ ẹ má bínú pé mo pẹ́ dé. Mo dúpẹ́ Adénúgà mi Willas ó ná mi lówó. Óyá mo ti dọ́dọ̀ mo rẹ́nikẹ́ Abíọ́dún Òsínàwọ̀ mi gbogbo yín ni mo rí láì lólódì kan. Samuel Akínọlá bàbá mi ní Spain mo rí yín. Ọláyínká Adésínà mi mọ́mí mo róhun Adébọ̀ mo rí yín. Ìyá mi rí Scott Àdìgún kọ́ Bọ́lájí Bentai mi mami ṣọlá odù mọ́sù o ó ná mi lówó owó California ló ná mi. Martin Adébọ̀wálé mo rí yín Mrs Power ẹlẹ́mbẹ́ Royal Pastry mo rí yín Adébẹ̀rọ̀ Kẹ́hìndé ṣẹwà Adébẹ̀rọ̀ Kẹ́hìndé àní mo rí yín Kẹ́mi Kẹ́mọ́ Blonsky wọ́n Blonsky gan nínú kọ́mẹ́ǹtì wọn. Ó dá sáà ti ka gbogbo Ọlábọ̀dé Ọlájúwọ̀n mo rẹ́yìn náà o mo rí ẹ̀nà fún mi lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ojú agbóláwa o ẹ jẹ́ wá padà sórí fún mate oníjàngbọ̀n ẹlẹ́yà ó dáa o ẹ mọ́ la sojú ṣáájú ẹ̀yìn tá a bá dárúkọ yín o gbogbo àwọn tó kọ kọ́mẹ́ǹtì ká tó kàròyìn alábi ṣé o bọ́dún ṣe wá ń lọ láti mọ̀ múnú aráyè tí yín àti mọ̀ kí ọlọ́run ọ̀nà tí mọ̀ kíra wá ti pẹ́ ẹ̀yìn lọ pọ́n súnkán ó dáa ká mọ̀ pẹ́jú ká mọ̀ dènà pẹ́nu gbogbo ẹ̀yìn tá a bá dárúkọ àmọ́ o kì í sojú ṣáájú ẹjọ́ ó wá ó fẹ́ wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àti ẹ̀ prepare ẹ̀rí pé orin yẹn gan ò lọ ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo yín pátápátá tí n bá ti rí yín tí n bá ti wà láàrin yín inú mi á dùn ara mi á yá gágá ó dá ara mi tún yá gágá jù tàná lọ ara mi tún le jù tàná lọ o mo kí yín káàbọ̀ sínú ètò lónìí alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà àkórí ìròyìn wa pápápá ni kò sáàyè pé à ń kí àyà mọ́ alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà àkórí ìròyìn wa gbélé ìtẹ́ bá pàdé iná Abala Lerefe ayojúlójú fèrèsé ni ẹ já lọ tààràtààrà sọ́dọ̀ agbẹnusọ ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá ní Nàìjíríà pátápátá ni o kì í ṣe lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọ́n ti ganu sí máìkì tó ti sọ wípé ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà àwọn ní ìdí ìrànlọ́wọ́ yín o àwọn ní ìdí kẹ́ ẹ báwọn máa sọ gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́pàá ìkáàkiri ojúlá alákan fi sọrí àwọn tí kó wọn kó lẹ́yìn àwọn VIP o àwọn ìlú mọ̀ká àwọn èèyàn jàǹkànjàǹkàn wọn ní ìdí ọlọ́pàá àwọn kan rè bá àwọn civil defence ní tẹ́ bá kófìrí ẹ fi ránṣẹ́ sí force àwọn force headquarters ta ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àgbébọ̀ ó ṣàlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ torí kíní ti fẹ́ dájà lẹ̀ ó ti fẹ́ dánwò òhù lẹ́bí tá a ti ń sọ yẹn lọ́wọ́ ní ìkànnà àwọn ọ̀gá DSS tó ti fẹ̀yìntì náà bá ganu sí máìkì wípé àwọn tiẹ̀ ti fẹ́ dá sọ̀rọ̀ ìtẹ́lẹ̀ wípé yóò lè wo pé civil defence ò lè sọ àwọn ìlú mọ̀ká náà ní importance wọn láàrin ìlú o wọ́n ní benefit wọn láàrin ìlú o pé ẹ má fi civil defence ẹ má fi sọ àwọn ìlú mọ̀ká wa o wípé torí wọn kọ́ àwọn civil defence wọn train wọn láti máa sọ èèyàn o bí kan máa dáàbò bo ibi tí pipeline gbà kọjá tàbí àwọn nǹkan kéréje civil tó wà civil mo ní civil people náà fẹ́ sọ àbí ó wá ní kán máa kó kán sá ti kó AK-47 tẹ̀lé àwọn olórí lẹ́yìn ìyẹn ní máa ń múnú wọn dùn pé wọ́n ti sọ àwọn kí ló ń bà wọ́n lẹ́rù bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sọ̀lù só ní ìdí kẹ́ máa sọ̀yàn kọ̀ọ̀kan ni téèyàn bá ti sọ gbogbo olùṣe bí ndúmẹ̀ ti sọ lọ́jọ́ sí àmbọ̀ ńbẹ̀ wọ́n ganu sí máìkì wọ́n tún dọ́gbọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ti Musa Christopher àwọn èèyàn láìkí Musa Christopher yìí o ṣé olódòdé wá ṣe mistake tán fi yọ ni bí tá a ti ń sọ yún lọ́wọ́ náà nìkan nú àwọn olórí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin ànálá fún yín ròyìn wípé wọ́n ti rìsọ fún àwọn náà gbogbo àwọn kọmití tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú iléeṣẹ́ ológun ìkànnù wọn tẹ́lẹ̀ tó lóhùn wà lára àwọn tó interview Musa rí kó tó di CDS pé èèyàn dáadáa ni pé inú wọn dùn àmú ogun wọn bọ̀ ojú kan la kò sí wá ti wá kó ń bẹ̀ tán á tún dé ọ̀dọ̀ Bwala òjògùn omi ojoojúmọ́ ní lọ káàkiri oúnjẹ bí ẹni pé owó tán kó fún wọn bọ́jẹ̀tì wọn wípé ẹ lọ fi convince àwọn èèyàn ṣùgbọ́n confusion ní bá dé ó sì break bone pé kò sí ti ń jẹ́ Christian genocide súnmọ́ gbogbo gúlégúlé Bwala oúnjẹ bí ẹni pé bó ṣe ń ju ọ̀bẹ sókè nígbàgbà ibi pẹlẹbẹ ní fi lélẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn kan ń da ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ nù ní ṣùgbọ́n ìdí tá a kún sí fẹ́ lò ní wípé tó mú àwọn ará bí mọ̀ tẹnumọ́ wípé kò sí tó ń jẹ́ Christian genocide àwa náà ó tẹnumọ́ bá a bá ti mú ti Bwala wá á fi kẹgbẹ́kẹgbẹ́ Reverend Dachomo òun náà tún sọ̀rọ̀ sókè pé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ kógun omi àwọn náà ò ní dákẹ́ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ní jẹ́ kógun omi àwọn náà ò ní dákẹ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ẹni kò sí Christian genocide 500 and something tán wá pa ń kọ́ ìkànnà mínísítà táàrẹ rán wá sọ́dọ̀ àwọn òun fìwé ìhàn rẹ́gísà àwọn tó kú rè ẹ̀jẹ̀ wà lọ́wọ́ yín ẹ wá ń sọ pé repressal ní kí ní jẹ́ repressal ẹ̀ ń wóyìnbó mi fún genocide pé àwọn aráàlú ló kọ́kọ́ ṣe àwọn Fúlàní káwọn Fúlàní tó wá repress pé repressal attack ni pé láíláí tó tiẹ̀ tún gbọ́n yín ó jẹ́ kó rí òun yìí òun ò ní dákẹ́ òun ò ní sinmi bí tá a ti ń sọ méjèèjì lọ́wọ́ amúbọ̀ aláàbọ̀ tó rò náà ń bẹ̀bẹ̀ fọ́gà rẹ̀ pé àwọn kan ń béèrè wípé kí olódò dẹ́fìwé lẹ̀ mo láwàgùn ò ní gbà pé olódò dẹ́fìwé lẹ̀ eléyìí tí ń ṣe lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta ẹ̀ ó dùn mọ́ wá nú kó tiẹ̀ bá wa fojú wọn gbolẹ̀ dáadáa kó sì rántí ìlérí tó ṣe fúnra Yorùbá, kó tú Sunday Igboho, kó gbogbo àwọn tó kókùn àwọn pé kí ìsóhun ló gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé dúkìá bàbá ń bàbá, ṣùgbọ́n kó gbẹ́sẹ̀ kó ń bẹ̀, ó láṣẹ láti gbé kó ń bẹ̀. Ọlọ́run sì ṣe ń gbẹ́sẹ̀ létí kú. Wọ́n kí wàá tún ní ẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ ń ṣe ń bẹ̀, kí lẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ ń ṣe ń bẹ̀, àwọn onímọ̀ sọ Yorùbá ń bẹ̀, kí lẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ ń ṣe ń bẹ̀, àwọn onímọ̀ sọ Yorùbá. Àmúbọ̀ wá fún ibi láti sàn lọ́wọ́ náà ti Congress ìlú òyìnbó náà ni ó dáa, ó yí àwọn náà fẹ́ sẹ́nukù tẹ́lẹ̀ ní, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ò ní sẹ́nukù lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí náà bá ṣe ọba kóra àwọn jọ. Àwọn ti Nàìjíríà náà kóra àwọn jọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ti ìlú òyìnbó ti kóra àwọn jọ. Ẹ mọ̀ pé time difference wà, àná ló yẹ ó jẹ́ Nàìjíríà ṣùgbọ́n òní ló bá dé. Náà bá ganu sí máìkì ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́n tán sọ, gbogbo àwọn congressmen pátápátá wọ́n fẹnu tì síbí kan báyìí. Wọ́n ní kí Nàìjíríà mọ́ wulẹ̀ mọ́ làágùn jìnnà kán mọ́ pariwo kiri kán mọ́ sáré kiri mọ́. CPC tán fẹ́ kán yọ àwọn kó ń bẹ̀ yẹn, wọ́n lè yọ wọ́n kó ń bẹ̀. Àti wípé àwọn tó ti wá rí ẹ̀rí àrídájú wípé wọ́n jẹ́ kó gun omi, wọ́n sì ń pa àwọn èèyàn. Wọ́n ní nǹkan wá fẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà gbé ìgbésẹ̀ lórí rẹ̀ yàtọ̀ sí gbogbo eléyìí tí àwọn jọ ní àjọṣepọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ológun tán àti jọ ti ń rí sí ọwọ́ àwọn. Ṣùgbọ́n bí iná ò bá tán lásọ àti lórí ẹ̀jẹ̀ ìtàn lè kánná o, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá gbé ìgbésẹ̀ lórí àwọn kìíní, àwọn ò ní jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ rójú ráàyè o. Ẹ rèé káńsù Sharia ẹni ṣe yóò ṣeéṣe, ó ti ṣeéṣe mọ̀nàkà, ó ṣeéṣe kò ní ṣàìṣe, Ọlọ́run ti fọwọ́ sí. Wọ́n ń pa àwọn èèyàn kiri pẹ̀lú Sharia yẹn, ọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ ń bẹ lónìí, á tẹnumọ́, àwọn akún tẹnumọ́, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ káńsù Sharia kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Kí Isiaq ìrànjú jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, kí Murik ìrànjú jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, èyí wọn jihadisi wọ́n ti ń kó bá wọn ti Yorùbá náà, wọ́n ti ń kó bá wọn, kí àáfà òdìdí àáfà alẹ́ Yorùbá sí mọ́, ẹ mọ́ jẹ́ fi Yorùbá sí, àwọn ọmọ àlè àáfà, mo sọ ni àwọn ọmọ àlè àáfà, àwa ìkó wọn pọ̀ ń bí torí Amẹ́ríkà kún kó wọn pọ̀. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin àáfà ọmọ ọkọ mo gbé fún yín, àbí mo gbé fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin àáfà ọmọ ọkọ, ẹ̀yin ọmọ àlè àáfà, ojú ti ń tì yín, àṣírí yín ti ń tú. Ebi kan nù wọn ló sọ lánàá tó ní gbogbo àṣírí mọ̀ọ́mọ́, àwọn náà gbà pé kùdìẹ̀kùdìẹ̀ pọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ àwọn ń dárúkọ àdìtì, wọn náà ti tó àwọn láṣìírí, ẹ̀yin sì mọ Bíbélì ìwọ̀nù rẹ̀, á tú yín síta. USA náà ti sọ wípé àwọn liberal Muslims pé wọ́n ń pa wọn náà, mo ló tiẹ̀ dáa pé àwọn wà nígbà àfìgbà kan bá fojú Sharia gbolẹ̀, Sharia yẹn náà fi ń pa àwọn èèyàn, wọ́n fi ń pa wọn gidi ní differences. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sì dé Agége káfagége ṣe shampoo, that is just one. Yàtọ̀ sí pé wọ́n fún wọn lẹ̀, wọ́n fún wọn sáàbò, wọ́n ń ṣe bó ṣe wù wọ́n lẹ̀ Yorùbá àti ilẹ̀ Ìgbò, kò síbi tán ti ní sáàbò. Ẹ sì lè dọ́dọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ rí wípé Yorùbá ló ní ọjà kan, Yorùbá ìdá ní ọjà lọ́dọ̀ wọn, inú ọjà wọn náà ni wọ́n wá lè ní section tí wọn ò tán ti ń tóbi tasu, ṣùgbọ́n Yorùbá ìdá ní odidi ọjà bí mo ṣe gbọ́. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti pẹ́ńlẹ̀ Haúsá dáadáa ẹ gbọ́, Mọ́mí Adébáyọ̀ kí n tútọ́ ẹ bá kọ̀fáàmù ẹ̀ wọ́n sọ fún mi ní ẹ bá kọ̀fáàmù ẹ̀, ṣé Yorùbá dá ní ọjà kó tó wá di wípé ẹ wà la Agége ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ tán kírun Jímọ̀, ẹ rí wọn. À ń bọ̀ ń bẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí, à ń bọ̀ ń bẹ̀ ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí alálàáfíà, Sharia ò lè ṣe yín láǹfààní o, ẹ jẹ́ àjọ kẹnubò wọn o. Ntí àwọn congressmen tó ń sọ nìyẹn. Bá a bá ti wá kó ń bẹ̀ tán á délé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin níbi tá a ti gbọ́ tán nìkan náà àwọn sẹ́nitọ̀ ó gbéná ojú Akpabio pé wọ́n sì ń pariwo bí ìgbà kan wà ń patí. L'Akpabio náà gbàgbé wípé parliamentary issue làwọn wá sọ́ọ̀bù nílé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin, ló bá ń bá wọn dọ̀wẹ́ kẹ́sì mọ̀ wípé ó bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn àwàdà lódìlódì tí wọ́n ṣeun ẹ máa gbàgbé ara rẹ̀. Wọ́n ní ìkan náà sẹ́nitọ̀ bá jántàn mọ́ wípé wá tẹ́ bá sì rí ọjọ́ orí bàbá yẹn náà yóò ju Akpabio lọ, wípé parliamentary business làwọn wá ṣe ń ibi kì í ṣe ọjà, ariwo yín pọ̀, ẹ kóra yín síta. Mo ní yes, ó ti dojú ẹ̀. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni yẹn ò mọṣẹ́ tó gbà níṣẹ́, kò mọ̀ pé serious business náà ọmọ Nàìjíríà rán àwọn. Ẹ̀rí kan nu wọn ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá, there is money everywhere. Tinubu he has spread money, ó kàn fún ọmọ Nàìjíríà pa. Àwọn aláàfin wọn pa wẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ last ẹ mọ̀ wọ̀rí. À ń bọ̀ ń bẹ́ à ń bàbá yẹn wá, ó sọ̀rọ̀ s'Akpabio. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni bàbá kò ń bẹ̀ tán, á wà dé ọ̀dọ̀ Adébáyọ̀ SDP ìmọ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ tí ń bù mí. òun ló wá sọ ó ní gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń dára yín láàmú lórí ọ̀rọ̀ negotiation wọ́n ń bá àwọn terrorist negotiate ó ní kò sí tó ń jẹ́ negotiation ẹ̀rù kọ́kọ́ bà mí wípé òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ la mọ̀mọ́ gbọ́ lẹ́nu rẹ̀ ó ní kí n jẹ́ kó ń délẹ̀ ó ní terrorist category terrorist méjì ló wà ó ní kan wà nínú igbó inú jù ó ní kan wà lọ́fíìsì ó ní kan official terrorist ìkan bush terrorist mo ní ó ti sọ wọ́n dẹran ẹgbẹ́ ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ní sóorí kìíní tó ń pè negotiation yẹn ó ní ọgbọ́n àti pín owó ni bó o bá ti rí olóńgbìnì tí ń ṣàlùwàlà pé ọgbọ́n àti kẹran jẹ ni pé àpá pínná fi ń ṣe gbogbo àjọ tẹ́ rí tán náà fẹ́ máa dá ẹ pé kò sí nǹkan kan kàn fi negotiation bojú ni wípé terrorist ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn gómìnà yìí mo ní ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ níbi tá a ti ń sọ lọ́wọ́ lárákùnrin kan náà ti ké sí olóhùn wàzírì mo ní wàzírì ti bo wàzírì kan lámọ̀ gbogbo nàìjíríà o àyà ni kì í mọ̀ sóye wàsírí lélẹ́yìí jẹ́ orúkọ rẹ̀ mọ̀ ní ọ̀gá mi ẹ ti yá fẹ́ mọ̀ fi wé Àtìkù tó lòun wàsírí of Adamawa mo ní tí mo pè nù ló bá ní kí n mọ̀ bá wọn dáṣà state police o pé àwọn táwọn súnmọ́ àwọn gómìnà lè tú àṣírí wọn pé apààyàn mo ní lápààyàn làwọn gómìnà yẹn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ni o mo ní sọ lè dárúkọ ó ní kábàdénú àkójọpọ̀ ròyìn ó ní tán máa fi state police dà á lẹ́sìn lọ́rùn ó ní democracy yìí tó ti fẹ́ kú tẹ́lẹ̀ tó yẹ pé bí 30% lifespan ló kù fún tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ̀ sì dọ̀gbọ́n àti revive ẹ̀ ó ní ẹ̀ tún wá fẹ́ fi state police mú ní ìwọ̀n tún discourage àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀ state police ó ṣe bá ń ṣòfin tí òfin ní lè jẹ́ kán máa lò ńlòkulò ni ó ní ká gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu òun náà mọ̀ láàdọ̀ wáyà yìí fi right èèyàn dún yàn right of say rẹ̀ ó sọ bàbá dénú àkójọpọ̀ ròyìn àmọ́ ẹ mọ́ bá ń fòye gbé o bàbá tí wá kó bẹ́tẹ̀ lè láàfi kásẹ̀ gbogbo rẹ̀ lẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ career no career ambassador no ambassador bí mi ṣe ń wo èmi ò rò pé rẹnu ọmọkùnrin ríbi kankan o in fact gan èyí tó pera rẹ̀ ní Fani Káyọ̀dé òun náà ń jọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ mọ́ múgbẹ̀ẹ́lẹ̀ gidigidi ni o ṣùgbọ́n àti ìrìláríjà lẹ́bìímọ̀ asòfin náà ń jọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ti Christopher náà kọ̀ọ̀kan mú gbọ́ná pressing issue nìyẹn ṣùgbọ́n ìkan lára àwọn tán ti jẹ́ ambassador rí oúnjẹ gangan ní bàbá yìí ti lò 30 years nínú career àwọn bí mo ṣe ń gbọ́ retired career ambassador làwọn àwọn náà wá ganu sí máìkì wọ́n ní nominating people whose credibility is questionable as ambassadors will make Nigeria run into trouble tá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ Ibrahim ló kọ wọn à ń bọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ wọn a ní rí jù báyìí lọ nínú gbogbo àwọn àkórí ìròyìn wa bí àfikún bá wà ẹ mọ̀ bá nínú bọ́dí ìròyìn ni o ẹ mọ̀ bá nínú bọ́dí ìròyìn àfẹ́ pẹ́ rárá ó dá àwọn ẹja catapult sínú abala tí ó mọ̀ tẹ̀lé ẹ̀mọ́ mi ẹ ti rẹ́dí picture wa ká tún kọrin mọ́ mi mọ̀dí náà ti ní káyà lọ sí báńdì o 2026 bóyá by 2026 ní ìsìn ká mọ́ kàròyìn wọn ká kú mọ́ fi kọ orin ó dá o ẹ mọ̀ pé táìmù ní jẹ́ wílé tẹ́ rí mi iṣẹ́ tó lọ́run fi rán mi nì ló sì dẹ̀mí lọ́rùn bẹ́ẹ̀ iṣẹ́ kí mọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ kékeré láti kó ìròyìn jọ 2 hours ó dá ọlọ́run ó kọ àmọ̀ sí ẹja ara picture wa o ẹwẹ́ yẹ ṣe rí mi ò tí ì mọ̀ tá a sì sí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹlẹ́hà o mo fẹ́ ilé ìná mọ́ mi Bridget ẹjọ́ ẹ bá ń lé ẹlẹ́hà àfi pàkà ẹmọ́jà pẹ́ńbẹ́ yóò yá kò ní yí ẹlẹ́hà ìpàtrọ́bù sí mi lọ́rùn ilé bàbá mi Adésínà àti Akínyẹmí tí mo rán lọ wọ́n rí ń tẹ̀sẹ̀ àwọn ìyáálé mọ́lẹ̀ ni o kúrò alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà abala ti Sanawole lónìí ẹjá dé Borno níbi tí gómìnà wọn Zulum ó ti gánu sí máìkì wípé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ ní genocide Christian genocide ẹ wúyẹ àwọn mùsùlùmí tó ń pa. mo lẹ́yìn ni àsìwé òtá sí sọ àti yànnà náà àwa gan tá à ń pariwo Christian genocide nísìn àti ṣe àfikún àti update àti upgrade àti sọ wípé wọ́n pa àwọn mùsùlùmí náà kò sí wàhálà kò sí jà ṣé ẹ sáwọn wọ́nà tí US òfin ní wá ẹ tanra yín ara yín lẹ́yìn ṣe o ẹ ṣe àwa o ẹ̀yin lẹ gbàbọ̀dì ẹ̀yin lẹ sílẹ̀kùn fòlè ẹ̀yin lẹ pólèkò wá jà ẹ wá folóko lẹ̀ ẹni kó lóko mọ́ sinmi oko rẹ̀ wà ń ṣẹpẹ́ ìkànnì ó náà ibi tó ti wá ń sọ pé kò sí Christian genocide wọ́n pa àwọn mùsùlùmí náà mo ní àbáyín jiyàn mọ́ kò sọ̀rọ̀ yàn mọ́ ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin náà ẹ sọ tiyín ṣùgbọ́n ẹ mọ́ fi tiyín ẹ mọ́ fi ṣe sánà ní ti tàwa ló wá dífá ibi tí ó tún ti ṣe rí gbogbo wọn tó bá ti fẹ́ mọ́ parọ́ ṣàbùsí òótọ́ tó mọ̀ jẹyọ́nú ọ̀rọ̀ ó tún wá fẹ́ brag ó ní over 45 churches over ni ló ń ti túnkọ́ fún àwọn kìrìsìtẹ́nì ó sì dárúkọ iye mọ́sálásí tó ti túnkọ́ ó ní no fewer than 45 churches destroyed by terrorists tí àwọn Boko Haram destroy but no state governor Babagana Zulum ló declare eléyìí o torí ó tún fẹ́ fìyẹn gara wípé wọ́n ti ẹ̀ ṣe kọlu ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì tó àwọn tó ń tún kọ́ àlẹ́ tún kọ́ ń tà ń sọ fún yín ni wípé mission àwọn tó ń kọlu ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì wọ́n fẹ́ genocide wọn ni àbí kí ló mú yín nígbà tẹ́ bá ní kíní wọ́n tún ń kọlu ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ó dá ẹ̀ ṣe sọ́n pa ti àwọn mùsùlùmí tí wọ́n ń kọlu tẹ́ ti tún mọ́sálásí wọn náà kọ́ kí ló dé tẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣe báyìí wá pé àwọn Christian Association ti chapter abẹ̀yẹn òròpó lè sọ̀rọ̀ tútù sí wọn lọ́kàn ọ̀rọ̀ ti kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ US ò ní gbà wọ́n irọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ti kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ lè mú anybody mọ́ lẹ́mọ̀ ebe alẹ̀ mọ́ Reverend Trump náà ṣé bọ́ ọlọ́run ní òjò dá kókó kúnnu à ń bọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ó sàtún ti sọ ibẹ̀ làwọn èèyàn tó ti wá rò tọ́ ọbẹ̀ pé ìwọ́n tó ní kò sí Christian genocide 45 churches tẹ́ tún kọ́ fáwọn èèyàn yìí sì ṣe gbogbo churches lẹ́ tún kọ́ ìwọ̀n bá tẹ́ lè kọ́ ní o nínú ìpínlẹ̀ ẹ tún 45 churches táwọn Boko Haram kọlù èèyàn mélòó náà pa ń bẹ̀ o tó dà àṣírí fúnra wọn náà mọ̀ tó àṣírí ara wọn ẹ̀yà sáré dé Ọ̀ṣun state níbi tá a ti ń gbọ́ tán sọ wípé PDP ti padà wọ́n ti pàpà mú èèyàn kan jáde tó máa represent wọn fún ìdìbò gómìnà gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùdíje ní Ọ̀ṣun state Adébáyọ̀ Adédàmọ́lá wọ́n ní àwọn kan bá ń forí jánu náà kan bá ń pín kiri pé ta ló sọ fún yín pé gómìnà Adeleke ti kúrò nínú ẹgbẹ́ PDP pèsè ẹgbọ́n lẹ́nu rẹ̀ ni wọ́n náà rí lẹ́tà rẹ̀ wọ́n ní lẹ́tà àárọ̀ wò sóun ló fọwọ́ ara rẹ̀ kọ́ mo ní àmọ̀ṣe kan o wọ́n ní igun kanú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú People's Democratic Party nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ti kéde Adébáyọ̀ Olúgbénga Adédàmọ́lá ẹni tí ọ̀pọ̀ mọ̀ sí Fáyọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tó borí ètò ìdìbò abẹ́lé láti jẹ́ olùdíje ẹgbẹ́ náà lásìkò ètò ìdìbò gómìnà wọ́n ní àwọn igun kan ní o ìdìbò ìwáyé lẹ́yìn wákàtí 12 tí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun Adémọ́lá Adélékè kéde pé òun ti kúrò nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan ló tún wá ń pín lẹ́tà kan kiri báyìí pé lẹ́tà tẹ ní Adémọ́lá tẹ ló fi kúrò nínú ẹgbẹ́ PDP rèé o pé òun kọ́ ló sáyìn ẹ̀ personally mo ní wàhálà báyìí wàhálà ó báyìí mọ̀ wípé Mákindé ò ràn yín inú ẹgbẹ́ kan náà lẹ́jọ́ wà ẹ̀ kàn ní kí Mákindé mọ̀ wàá da Ọ̀ṣun rú ni Mákindé ò wàá dọ̀ Ọ̀ṣun rú inú ẹgbẹ́ PDP lẹ́jọ́ wà kò wá ṣèjọba lẹ́yìn lórí Mákindé sì rè ara àwọn ọ̀jẹ̀ nínú ẹgbẹ́ PDP ni PDP ní national ones láwọn ò mọ̀ sí ẹ̀yin lẹ́fẹ́ fẹnu táṣà PDP pé torí jà wà ń bẹ ní Adélékè ṣe kúrò náà sì gbẹ̀yìn wọ́n wọlé sí yín lára wọ́n sì sáré ṣe kínní INEC kúkú wá kí ló wá ń ka yín lára torí ọ̀rọ̀ tí ń lójú túbọ̀ owó eléyìí tí spíkà wọn sọ lánàá wọ́n lọ́mọ kékeré ní í ṣe o wọ́n ní ọmọdé òmòwé ó ń pè lówe wọ́n ní kò mọ̀ nǹkan kan wọ́n ní kò mọ̀ ogun ń pè lẹ́fọ̀ọ́ pọ́mọ kékeré òṣèlú ní í ṣe pé as far as they are concerned ń tẹ́gbẹ́ bá sọ láti national ní state ó gbà látàdélékè fẹ́ yẹ̀yẹ́ wọn náà sì wà wọ́rọ̀ kan wọ́n fi ṣàdá wọ́n sì tẹ̀lé òfin torí INEC bá wọn wá wọ́n sọ fún INEC wọ́n sì ti dájọ́ sí kìíní ìtẹ́lẹ̀ ó sì jẹ́ táìmù kí ló ṣe Adélékè tí ò mọ tó fẹ́ kí ló fẹ́ gangan ó ti yanra rẹ̀ níbọ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ọba wọn bóyá kó yá lóhùn ò sí mọ́ torí mi ò mọ bó ṣe fẹ́ kí ló dé tó fẹ́ mọ́ jẹ́ńbí jẹ lọ́hùn ṣaka soko ṣaka. ṣùgbọ́n àyá ní ọ̀gá mi version mi látún ń gbọ́ o látọ̀sún state o wọ́n sọ wípé gbogbo àwọn ẹrú ikú tí Mákindé kó wá sọ̀sùn tí wọ́n pè ní INEC kìíní kan pé gbogbo wọn lọ́wọ́ bá o àfojú wọn ní ìsìn ẹjẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ wo bí ìdìbò primaries wọ́n ṣe lọ tí wọ́n fi yan ẹlòmíì dípò gómìnà Adeleke nínú ẹgbẹ́ PDP Ọ̀ṣun state chapter.
ẹni àkọ́kọ́ tí mo dárúkọ wọn ti kọ̀wé fi ẹgbẹ́ sílẹ̀ ní alẹ́ àná torí pé wọ́n ti kọ̀wé fi ẹgbẹ́ sílẹ̀ ní alẹ́ àná ìbò tí a bá di fún ọ labaka kò jábọ̀ gbọ̀ngàn tí o bá kó sọ yé sí ìbò tí a bá di sí mi labaka kò jábọ̀ gbọ̀ngàn ṣùgbọ́n ẹni kejì tó kù lórí bíbí ìbò labaka fún òun ni ìbò tí ó ní jùlọ tó yẹ kí o ti sọ sí lágbára lọ ẹgbẹ́ yóò di kájọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí sọ Ara bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí. Màmá wa tí a bá ti dìbò yìí, a ti parí nǹkan tí a bá wá síbí nìyẹn. Ẹni tí a bá ti fún ní bálọ̀tì tó bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀, ó di sí ìkọ̀ nínú àwọn àpótí tó wà bí ó lè kọ́ jáde kọ́ máa lọ. Tí mo sọ yé báyìí, tó dé àpò a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní kíá. Ẹgbẹ́ ni nínú wọn pé kí o ti àmàlò, ni wọ́n fi sísàlẹ̀.
òun náà láti fẹ́ tí ara wa gbọ́ a sì tún fojú ara wa rí wọ́n ní ìdí tí àwọn èèyàn ṣe ń sọ wípé kangaroo ní gbogbo primaries náà ṣe náà ni pé kí ló dé nígbà tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ gbọ́ pé Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Adeleke ó ti kọ lẹ́tà sí pòun ò bá yín ṣẹgbẹ́ mọ́ kí ló dé tẹ́ ẹ tún forúkọ ẹ̀ sórí ballot tẹ́ ẹ wá sọ wípé ìbò tán bá dì fún àbí ẹ ṣáà ti polongo ń bẹ̀ wípé kò sí ó ti kọ̀wé fi ẹgbẹ́ lẹ̀ kí ló tẹ̀ sọ fún àwọn èèyàn tó fẹ́ dìbò pé ẹ mọ̀ wulẹ̀ dìbò fún o òun ló wà number 1 àti pé kí lorúkọ rẹ̀ ń ṣe lórí bálọ̀tì ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ àfojú wo àwọn tí wọ́n ní ọwọ́ bà tán ní Ṣèyí Mákindé ló rán wọn.
èyí ni díẹ̀ lára àwọn jàǹdùkú àdàlú tí gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé kó wá láti wá da omi àlàáfíà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ọwọ́ òsìnkú ìjọba ti tẹ̀ wọ́n láti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ wọ́n wá da omi àlàáfíà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun láti wá ṣe gubernatorial primaries awúrúju ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun láti fi dá iṣẹ́ rere tí gómìnà Adeleke ṣe lọ́wọ́ èyí ni díẹ̀ lára àwọn tí ọwọ́ tẹ̀ nínú àwọn ọ̀bàlújẹ́ ọ̀bàyéjẹ́ tí gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé tó kó wá láti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ láti wá da ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ọwọ́ sí pé ìjọba ti tẹ̀ wọ́n lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí.
ó dá o àmọ́ fún yín lọ́pdẹ̀tì bá ṣe ń lọ o a sì fún yín lọ́pdẹ̀tì lórí ti Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Wike náà pé wọ́n ti fún níwèé ẹ̀rí expulsion wọ́n lè jáde wọ́n tún fi hàn àwọn èèyàn gbàgbàgbà ṣùgbọ́n àti ìgbọ́ kí Wike sọ nǹkan kan ká tó parí ìròyìn bó bá sọ̀rọ̀ bó sì jẹ́ agbẹnusọ rẹ̀ lékè náà ló sọ̀rọ̀ àmọ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ gbọ́ o kò jù bá náà lọ́nu ẹgbẹ́ ti PDP ẹ já tẹ̀ wájú nínú ìròyìn tòní. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ti Two-Face ẹjẹ́ àṣàrí fún yín jẹ nípa ti entertainment Two-Face ti wá sọ òkodoro ọ̀rọ̀ wọlé tó fẹ́ mọ́ ṣe cover up tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n ló ti béèrè fún ìrànlọ́wọ́ èèyàn ọmọ Nàìjíríà ó ti break silent ó ní help me Nigeria music icon Innocent Idibia tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ sí Two-Face wọ́n ló ti sọ̀rọ̀ publicly for the first time since the controversy involving him and his wife and Edo State lawmaker Natasha Osawaru began trending online. Wọ́n ló ní in a short message shared on his Instagram story on Wednesday when the singer wrote, "Help me!" His post comes hours after his brother Innocent Idibia raised concern in an Instagram post in which he paired his message with lyrics from Two-Face song wípé you are always been ahead, always been brilliant. Lyrics meant to inspire but somehow it is unfolding in real time. Bó ti fi kọrin rí pé painful reality lélẹ̀ o, allow us to save you. You have been suffering for too long. Wọ́n láwọn ẹbí rẹ̀ náà mọ̀ wípé kó jọ pé ìyá obìnrin jẹ́ ó kàn rọra kọ help me. Wọ́n ní ẹni Ọlọ́run bá bùn kó bùn mi oníkẹ́ help òun o. Ṣùgbọ́n lọ́dọ̀ tèmi ẹ wo ọ̀rọ̀ Two-Face ó ṣòro dá sí ó lè jáde nísìn kó ní nǹkan kan ò ṣeun o ẹ̀fọ́ òun lẹ̀ o àyà ni ọ̀gá mi bò lẹ́sẹ̀ mọ̀ ṣé ẹ̀ tí ì rí fọ́nrán ibi tó ti jáde tó ní kán fòun lẹ̀ nǹkan kan ò ṣeun òun àtìyàwó òun o lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó béèrè fún ìrànlọ́wọ́ ni o mo ló máa ṣe o abiyamọ bó o láti sọ̀rọ̀ Two-Face sí ṣé fọ́nrán rẹ̀ wà yá ó ló wà ẹ jẹ́ àjọ gbọ́n tí Two-Face tún sọ lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó fúnra rẹ̀ béèrè fún help lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ tán á tún gbọ́n tí àwọn akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ tó jó lórin tán sọ.
This is getting out of hand. And this is a dangerous situation right now. I know what fans can do. I know what people can do. I am perfectly okay. You understand what I'm saying? And this is putting Natasha at risk. It's not fair on anybody to do this kind of thing. It's not fair on anybody at all. So please, I need everybody to calm down. I need everybody to cease fire. We want to resolve all these issues. People, they get issue for house. No big deal. But this is getting out of hand. Please, friends, family, everybody, cease fire. Please, I beg you. I beg you. I am perfectly fine. I did not pull that. Please. Please. I'm okay. Please.
I know say I never gist una. Wetin happen when Badians borrow me Lamborghini. right now no be even about me again. We no go even no be one Lamborghini no fit do because we gats go use speed pick to baba o. We see fighter jets. If you get jet, bring am come. If you get boat, bring am come. Timaya baba, your Porsche, we go need am. KC, your Cadillac, we go need am. Baba, we dey come save you. We are coming to save you for your husband, for your wife, from your from where you dey. Baba, if you just hear speed, baba, make I just tell you, just dapa. And they come with Avengers like this. We dey come save you, baba, with speed, baba. Baba, we don't know wetin dey happen. We dey carry you go where we don't know. We don't even know wetin dey happen again. We go need pass Lamborghini o. Ọlọ́run aládé gbọ́. Wà á kọ́ mi 10,000.
sẹ́yìn náà ti gbọ́n tí Two-Face sọ ó lòun wọ òkè kán mọ̀ wá kan jogun omi ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ni náà jáde ó náà bá tipátìkúkù náà ó fi ṣèfù ẹ náà ó fi gbọ́ ọlẹ̀ ó lágbára o nǹkan kan ń ṣe Two-Face ó ń pass nǹkan kan kọjá is passing through something or something is passing through him ẹ jẹ́ tètè ẹ̀pù ẹ̀ ó dáa kò ní lọ́ọ̀kì obìnrin rárá bóyá òun sì ni ó ní lọ́wọ́ tó di ẹ̀rù àmọ́ o. ó brilliant nínú orin lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbéyàwó ẹ wo ẹni ìjà òde bá ní pera rẹ̀ lọ́kùnrin jàre ẹja help ẹ o ẹ̀yin abiyamọ ẹ bá wa help ẹ o. ó rẹ ẹja wá fún yín ní update káfílẹ̀ káfi kásẹ̀ rẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ ẹ rántí ìròyìn kan tá a mú wá fún yín lọ́jọ́ sí tán náà mọ́ àwọn Nàìjíríà kan sí Saudi Arabia tán náà fẹ́ lọ sí hajj ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n kó bá wọn ni wọ́n gbóògùn olóró àwọn gangan kọ́ ló gbé àjọ NDLEA sì gbìyànjú gan lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí adúpẹ́ pé wọ́n ti tún wọn lẹ̀ wọ́n ní 3 Nigerians who had been detained in Saudi Arabia since August 2025 have now been released after Saudi authorities determined they had no connection to an attempt to smuggle prohibited substances through Jeddah's King Abdulaziz International Airport. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Kimiebe Ebiemfa confirmed their release in a statement issued on Wednesday. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through the Consulate General of Nigeria in Jeddah, has secured the release and full lifting of the travel ban on 3 Nigerian nationals, Abdulmal Sadako Wambe, tí wọ́n lọ fún hajj ní August, wípé orí kó wọn yọ o pátápínra rẹ̀ báyìí wọ́n ti fi wọ́n lẹ̀ wá ní àfi tó yín létí ní etí tó gbọ́ àlọ́ ó yẹ kó gbọ́ àbọ̀. a ní rí báyìí lọ́nà abala ti Sanawole ní pápá àpá ẹja catapult sínú abala tí ó mọ̀ tẹ̀lé abala èèyàn olólùfẹ́ wa abala comment section ayáwóyá gbóhùn sókè ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ ní kìtìkìtì kà á síwájú. mo máa tún kí ẹ̀yin olólùwẹ̀ káàbọ̀ sínú abala yín o mo hàn wá Ọláyínká Adésínà ìwọ̀n kújọ́ mẹ́ta ẹ̀ ìyàwó bá mi 70+ bàbá ńkọ́ wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby ìbàlẹ̀ jẹ́lì may the grace that preserve you till today keep you beyond December. Happy new month to you and your entire family. Trump says to President Tinubu that if you want us to work in hand together with you, drop Matawale to bring back the first defense army that bear Christopher back. This is the month that God will judge according to their evil characters. None of them will go unpunished. Continue saying the word more. Mọ́mí yóò yẹ ń kò ní yẹ lẹ́ o. Mọ́mí ti rí kan ti confam ẹ̀ fún wa pé Amẹ́ríkà ẹ̀hánná fún wọn condition. bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni Àtàbímbọ́lá Àgbájé wọn ní bàbá bí wọ́n ní ìdodo ni pásítọ̀ yẹn sọ o. ẹni tí òye bá yé pásítọ̀ yìí kó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí o. tí ẹ bá rántí dókítà kan tí wọ́n jí gbé wọ́n yìn ní ìbọn kò wọlé ó fi hàn wípé oògùn ara ní abẹ́rẹ́ dáadáa àbí ní abèrè dáadáa lẹ́fẹ́ kọ. ire Abímbọ́lá General South Africa wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀bù ṣe àwò ẹ ṣeun ẹ rè improve nù Yorùbá yín o. ògbó wa la gbọ́dọ̀ improve lọ́rọ̀ Yorùbá yìí. bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni mọ́ọ̀mí Dorcas Odolúwatunmise wọ́n ní báńdíìtì wà ní Èkó bọ́ǹbù ni wọ́n fẹ́ fi jà ní àwùjọ chọ́ọ̀chì mọ́sálásí àti ọjà. Yorùbáwùyí gbèsè yìí Tinubu tó ṣe ìlérí fún àwọn Haúsá ní Èkó àwọn pásítọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ òkùnkùn ló máa lòdì. pásítọ̀ tó ní kí wọ́n dira ogun from Providence Rhode Island mọ́ọ̀mí sẹ́yìn ní ká wọ́n dira ni. ó dáa ẹ jẹ́ àlọ́ tààràtàrà sọ́dọ̀ at Ọmọ́táyà Kínúsì wọ́n ní obì USA should go on song. gbogbo àwọn asòsòkà márùn ẹrù wọ̀nyí gbọ́dọ̀ jìyà iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ wọn láti ayé yìí dé ọ̀run. At Comfort Adeleye wọ́n ní they have the authority to declare Sharia but they can't take care of the terrorists brought to the country by their brothers. They play ń lọ̀rọ̀ wọn wọ́n bá fẹ́ yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ká kọ́kọ́ lọ bánu Sharia nù. At Oluyemisi Abigunde wọ́n ní and this one is the Minister of State for Defense defending the terrorists like Sultan of Sokoto and Gumi. Can he support the fight against the terrorists? It is very unfortunate. wọ́n ní they are calling bàbá wọn Olúbàdàn to help them. The Olúbàdàn that said the Sultan of Sokoto is a good man. Wọ́n sì sọ wọ́n ní ó wà tolerance. Fi ṣe wọ́n ní Sultan wà tolerance religiously when he came to Ibadan with Gumi the other time. Ó rẹ̀ já dọ́dọ̀ mọ́mí Lújẹ̀ṣà Elizabeth Oyeniya wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby Area ìbà àṣàṣì apá lásàṣì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o Ọ̀bámi Ọ̀làǹdò ló fi kọrin ìbà Ọlọ́run ló ń gbé wọn débẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ló ń gbé wá débẹ̀ ló yẹ kọ́. Ọlọ́run jọ̀ọ́ bá fi àánú ṣe nìkan nìyí tọmọtọmọ o. Wọ́n ní President Trump please want God to use you for Nigeria. Ọlọ́run ti ń lò ó lọ kó mọ̀ dà sí ọwọ́ rẹ̀ dúró ni wọ́n tell us here from Dallas, Texas. Odua nation no going back. Mo rí nǹkan panu. Àtọmọtayọ̀ Akínú sí wọ́n ní OB òkúrọ̀ ìka alábòsí ni ọkùnrin XDCS yìí o. Báwo lẹ ṣe ń gba àwọn olókùrọ̀ de-radicalized jihadists sínú ilé iṣẹ́ ológun DCS kọ́ àbó náà ni. CDS bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ẹjẹ́ á lọ sọ́dọ̀ Olúyẹmísí Abégúnlé wọn ní ẹ̀ka alẹ́ òbí wọn ní àsè Muhammadu ní àwọn àṣírí ìwà ìbàjẹ́ nínú àdíìtì ẹnu wọn náà láti gbọ́ òótọ́ báyìí o. Good for them like master like followers kì í ṣe gbogbo wọn o àwọn tó dáa wà nù wọn. Wọ́n tẹ love sí a from àwọn òfin ti tẹ love sí a sí o. Joseph Oyeniya ẹmọkújọ́ mẹ́ta wọ́n ní ibà ganu sí ibà ambassador ẹkú iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ní ṣiṣẹ́ rẹ̀ Olúwa á jẹ́ kí a máa mọ̀ sí àmì ò ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ má gbàgbé owó ọdún fún àwọn ìyàwó yín nínú ilé aláyọ̀ yìí o pàápàá jùlọ ìyàwó mi tí ẹ ti gbà ok ẹ̀yin lẹ fẹ́ gbowó ọdún orí wọn ságbèrò ní àgbèrò ló máa ń gbowó orí ẹ̀yin lẹ fẹ́ gbowó ṣe náà bá mi wọ́n dúró dè mí kọ́nà ni bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni bá mi adébẹ̀rẹ̀ kẹ́hìndé sẹ́yìn náà fẹ́ gbowó wọ́n yàn Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby ẹ wo bá mi sá wọ́n ní ó ti di woro sí woro tí mo bá ní ohun tí mo lè fi dira kò sí èèwọ̀ níbẹ̀ àti wípé Ọlọ́run ló jogún àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí fún àwọn bàbá wa bíi ká fi oyin àti àrá jà Ọlọ́run ṣáfi iná àti yìnyín stone jà nínú Bíbélì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó sì fi èdè àìyedè sí àárín àwọn ọ̀tá Ísírẹ́lì tí wọ́n sì dojú ìjà kọra wọn nígbà tí wọ́n fẹ́ bá ọba Jósáfátì jà nínú Bíbélì wípé ẹnìkíní sì ran ẹnìkejì rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ láti para wọn. Ẹ jẹ́ kí oníkúlùkù lohun tó bá mọ̀ láti dáàbò bo ara rẹ̀ kò tiẹ̀ sí rọ́ńbẹ̀ ṣe rí gbogbo àwọn túnò tán mọ Ọlọ́run jù tán máa ń rò pé wí àtejò wípé kíní ni àwọn pásítọ̀ wọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ń lọ bẹ̀. Èmi ò sì rí ní tó burú bẹ̀ torí Bíbélì gan ò kọ̀ndẹ́ẹ̀mù ewé àtejò. Nínú Bíbélì gan ó nígbà tí Jésù mú amọ̀ ó bu amọ̀ yẹ̀pẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ báyìí ó tutọ́ sí àgbọ̀ kó sọ nǹkan kan sí ó sì ṣe kí ni ó fi lẹ̀yàn lójú ojú ẹ̀ sí là. Gbogbo àwọn nǹkan báyìí wọ́n demonize ẹ̀ ní iṣẹ́ tí ẹ̀ rí àwọn eléré ìtàgé pàápàá jùlọ wọ́n báyé jẹ́ gan wa àti ìmọ̀ wàhálà tán dá sí wa lọ́rùn o. ṣáà wá rí àwọn oníṣègùn onírọ́ náà wọ́n ràn yàn lọ́wọ́ bàbá tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n kàn ní ewé àtegbò ìran tán ń rí sí ọ ní kérúbàn sẹ́ráfù náà ni babaláwo gidi ó rí sí ọ pẹ̀lú fàtọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ rẹ̀ ìran kan náà ni ó rí sí ọ tí ó sì ní báyìí ni ó lọ sí báyìí ni ó lọ sí mọ́ jẹ eléyìí mọ́ jẹ eléyìí ṣé rí àwọn èèyàn ń tanra wọn gan pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sìn ní Nàìjíríà o wọ́n ń tanra wọn gan o. irú òkè tẹ́ḿbẹ̀rún lásán ó ní tán fi ń ṣe Ọlọ́run kò sí tọ́lọ́run dá tí ó fàṣẹ sí lára ó ní táwọn bàbá fi ń ṣe ṣùgbọ́n àwọn bàbá kan náà ìkà pọ̀. Abọ́dẹ̀rìn Adémọ́lá wọ́n ní Mr. Aya I love you too we love you lórí ìkànnì àwọn èèyàn ń darapọ̀ mọ́ àgán o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni Martin Adébọ̀wálé wọ́n ní Obi Sowore is telling the government what they should have been doing crushing this criminal it can be done with ease bẹ́ẹ̀ ni with technology. Mọ́ọ̀mí Christiana Sheva kún ní wọ́n ní Bobby ó ga fún ẹ pé pẹ̀lú orin Orlando tó fi dá wa lára yá lónìí yìí ó kàn jẹ́ ká máa rẹ́rìn àrìn tákìtì ní wọ́n mi ó necessary ìdílé aláyọ̀lẹ̀wà bó ṣe ń dùn wá nínú kílèmí náà ń ká gbogbo aláyọ̀ improve nù Yorùbá wa nínú agboolé aláyọ̀ yìí Ọlọ́run yóò máa dùn yín nínú àmì lórúkọ Jésù Olúwa wa àmì ọ̀nà ara la máa fi gba orílẹ̀-èdè wa. Odua nation going back Mama Sheba Minnesota USA mo rí oríṣiríṣi fruit tẹ́ fi ránṣẹ́ mọ́ mi sọlá ọdún mọ́sùn ti dọ́dọ̀ yẹn ọmọbìnrin wọn ní olóṣì èwo nínú wọn rìlì gbé gbogbo ẹnu ẹ sọ̀hún ó gbèsè Fúlàní lẹ́yìn àwọn ọ̀dàlẹ̀ sí ọ òkè mẹ́ta wálé lẹ́ǹbàwí ó dùn mọ́ mi ó kà wọ́n lára ẹ wo ẹjẹ́ fọ̀rọ̀ wọn lẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ẹjẹ́ àdọ́dọ̀ mọ́mí Debbie Precious àjẹwálé wọn ní Precious Ogbeni Bobby, good day to you and Ayao. Thank you very much for your concern and caring about the state of things in fatherland. We have hope for a better days ahead. Yoruba Nation going back, please remain blessed. Want to love, see me come on love one. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni mo rí bọ́gà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n ní ṣíà wọ́n ní ẹ bá wa ṣíà oyè ọba Debbie Ajewole. At Amida Tokoro wọ́n ní Ogbeni Bobby tiwa. We really appreciate you always for your great work, strength, wisdom and your wonderful program. Amen. Want to love, see you tomorrow. Ìyẹn ìní 3rd of December is my birthday. Ìyàwó mi fún Matt Brady ẹlẹ́à ló kọ́kọ́ débi ẹlẹ́à ní happy birthday sir. Ó lẹ́ bá mi kí bàbá wa bó sì ṣe mọ̀mọ́ náà nítorí orúkọ wọn yìí ó fẹ́ jọ tóbìnrin. Ẹ bá mi kí wọn wípé wọ́n á pẹ́ láyé o, wọ́n á pẹ́ jù báyìí lọ. Àní wá wọn tí o. Ìgbà ọdún kan o, àṣẹ àṣàmọ́dún sẹ̀mí nínú owó nínú ọlá nínú iyì nínú àlàáfíà ìkú baálé ọ̀rọ̀. Happy birthday to you. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àtfọlá Sharia bí wọ́n ní olúwa kó wá yọ wà mí ò Yorùbá Nation lọ́nà àbáyọ wà kú palẹ̀mọ́ ọdún o. Wọ́n fi nǹkan panu ránṣẹ́ sí a. Mọ́ọ̀mí Adésọlá Ọládèjì wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby ayọ̀ náà ni ẹ fi máa lo gbogbo ayé yín já àmì o. Inú àwọn èèyàn dùn sí mi gan. Wọ́n tẹ love sí àti nǹkan panu wà wọ́n smile. God bless you gbogbo aláfíà ayọ̀ lólé ayé wa já. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni Kemo Blonsky wọ́n ní àwọn tó yẹ kí wọ́n padànù bí ewúrẹ́. Why parading them? Yorùbá go bàjẹ́bàjẹ́ àfi ẹjọ́ wẹ́wẹ́ bí ẹyẹ ìbákà. Then they kpai them. Why not do same to them? Kí wọ́n lè dínkù. Modupe Adenuga wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby is not forcing anyone to fortify themselves o. He is only advising his members. Ẹ má dira ẹ má wòran o tí bandit bá dé kí wọ́n gbé bíbélì wọn ẹ kú ètò my padi o ayọ̀ ní tiwa ayọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. Ìwọ mọ́ dira o. Mo jẹ́rìí ọba Solomon ó dira kú. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹja lọ sọ́dọ̀ Báàmí Bọ́lájí Bẹ̀ntáì. Wọ́n bú sẹ́yìn wọ́n ní the guy that recorded the police get luck. The police is not in a bad person. Kò tí ẹ̀ sí ní bad mood ni. If not, crazy one, he will show him pepper no matter the document he have. They will find something to rope him. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Àtàbí ọdún sí náà wọ́n ní òbí wọ́n ní òótọ́ ni pásítọ̀ yín sọ ẹ bá mi sọ fún àwọn aláìmọ̀kan Peter tó yọ àdá tó fi gé etí kan lára àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ mú Jésù lọ pa àdá ẹ̀ wà fún àwọn ọ̀tá Jésù kò fi idà pa ẹja nínú chọ́ọ̀chì o àbí o apẹja sì ní Pétérù kò fi idà pẹja o Peter kò gbé pẹ̀tùpẹ̀tù ohun tó ní ló mú kiri nítorí àwọn ọ̀tá wọn ayé ní ń lé ọjọ́ ti pẹ́ ayé yìí lè lẹ́fẹ̀ẹ́ kọ́ ẹ máa improve ní Yorùbá yẹn àjọ máa improve ní o bá mi ní ẹ dira ẹ jẹ́ àlọ́ sọ́dọ̀ bá mi fọlọ́nsọ̀tà ni mo là wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby tí màálù Fúlàní kò bá ṣéèrà kí ìjọba Southwest sófin kí Fúlàní máa kó màálù wọn dúró níjẹ̀bà kí wọ́n lọ máa rà ń bẹ̀ o Yorùbá tí kó ẹran mọ́ èrò tó gẹ́ ọmọ Léfì bá mi yọ yẹn kò ní yẹlẹ̀ ṣé ẹ ti kàn sí ilé ẹ ti lọ ilé bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ẹja lọ́dọ̀ mọ́ mi Adésọlá Ọládèjì wọ́n ní Fúlàní ṣé ẹ yá wèrè ni ṣé ẹ nílẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n nílẹ̀ o wọ́n bá yín dulẹ̀ báyìí o. Àtìmọ́ mi Stella Ogunbájò wọ́n ní you go explain tire ìyẹn lérí ibú ẹranko èèyàn kéèyàn wọ̀nyí àwọn aláìṣẹ̀ tí àwọn ìran yín ti pa ló máa gbẹ̀san lára gbogbo yín láti ìran déran àrọmọdọ́mọ yín aṣẹ́gun kò yí padà Jésù Olúwa wa àmín. Àtìmọ́ mi ọmọlẹ́wà Adésọlá wọn ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby tí àwọn ọmọge nìkan ó dà àwọn ọmọ mi ń kọ́ ẹ fẹ́ dájà lẹ̀ ó dà mú gbà wọ́n ní ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ má gba àwọn ẹlẹ́hà àwọn yẹn padà lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá yẹn ó dà kí n tilẹ̀kùn mọ́ wọn kí n fi kọ́kọ́rọ́ pamọ́ ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ọlọ́mọ ìlú yìí o God bless you àyà àgbò àti Oòduà Nation we love you plenty we love you too mọ́ mi ọmọlẹ́wà God bless you. At Samuel Akínọlá bá mi ní ẹkú iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby ọlọ́run kú iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ o Fulani State Police láti jẹ gàba lórí Haúsá kí wọ́n sì dáàbò bo àwọn báńdíìtì wọn ni o ṣé pé project tán fẹ́ ṣe nu ọlọ́run yóò pín wa níyà pẹ̀lú àwọn aninilára wa ò Yorùbá nation kíákíá pẹ̀lú àṣẹ Ọlọ́run bámiyọ́ yẹn Spain ńkọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni Alhaja Modinat Solomon Alhaja mi ọ̀wọ́n ní are we starting Aya band next year àṣé wípé ẹgbẹ́ orin Aya àbí think about it Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby kudos fún Ọlọ́run o ká tún mú iṣẹ́ orin mọ́ ọ̀dà mo ti gbọ́ Ọlọ́run ó kọ́ wa mọ̀ sí. Mọ́mí mo dúpẹ́ Táíwò wọn ní Bobby mi ọ̀wọ́n Olúwa kò ní fi yín sílẹ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè àmì o àdúrà tẹ́ gbà fún Olúwa ó ti mú wọlé àṣẹ yóò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ fún ẹ̀yin náà lórúkọ Jésù àmì o àdúrà yín gbà ju bí ẹ ṣe lérò lọ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè ire o ire kàbìtì mọ́mí mo dúpẹ́ Táíwò God bless you. At Mom Esther Sosanya, when this man talking about cows over in Europe, in the US and Australia, they don't take their cows about. They have a place that they keep their cows and inside it, they feed and give the waters to drink. At Mom mo dúpẹ́ Táíwò wọn ní Bobby mi, ohun tí ó ń jẹ́ kí èmi máa ráyè ni pé mo máa ń tètè ṣe iṣẹ́ tó yẹ kí n ṣe, máa fi ara balẹ̀ láti gbọ́ ìròyìn ilé aláyọ̀ láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ dé òpin. Olúwa fi ààyè gba gbogbo wa mi àwa tún ráàyè o Ọlọ́run bá ń wáyè fún yín bí gíga ó tiẹ̀ ti wáyè fún yín bí gíga ẹ̀ ní jábọ́ wọn tẹ lọ́ọ̀fù ṣe àbá mi Adésínà Ọládẹ́ǹdé àdúrà yín ti gbà lórí mi wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby Olúwa yóò máa wà pẹ̀lú àmì mo máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ fún ẹlẹ́yà tó fún mi o ṣé ẹ láìkí ẹlẹ́yà tí mo fún yín ṣùgbọ́n jẹ́ ká fún bàbá orí ọlọ́run kí wọ́n fi ṣe ìyàwó kẹta. Gbogbo àwa bàbá àti àwọn ìyá tí Olúwa fi yí ẹ ká a ò ní pẹ́ ní àmì o ẹni pẹ́ ní mọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹni náà ò ní pẹ́ ní mọ́ lọ́wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìwọ Bobby náà ò ní kú mọ́ wa lójú àmì Ọlọ́run sóun rí wa bá ṣe ń yọ̀ nínú ayọ̀ tó fún wa wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀fù sí àwọn búṣẹ́rin ayọ̀ ẹlẹ́yàtẹ̀ wa lẹ́ẹ̀fẹ̀ mọ́ ẹ̀ẹ́fẹ́ o dandan gbì ní o bá mi fi káyọ̀ Victor wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby àti gbogbo àwa ọmọ onílé aláyọ̀ yìí a kú ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ oṣù tuntun o ó dára kí a dira pẹ̀lú prayer àti sáàmù ó dáa wọ́n ní sáàmù àti prayer nìkan ní ká fi dira o Jésù tú itọ́ sílẹ̀ ó yí pọ̀ mọ́ amọ̀ ó sì fi ilẹ̀ ojú afọ́jú ó ní kí ó lọ fọ̀ dànù lódò tó ń sàn. Báàmì mi náà ti fi ṣe ẹ̀sàmpù lẹ́ẹ̀kan wọ́n ní Pétérù fa ọkọ̀ yọ ó gé etí bàbí kan náà ti fi ṣe ẹ̀sàmpù lẹ́ẹ̀kan ó ní kí Pétérù dá idà padà sí akọ rẹ̀ self defence tó bá dira ikú pa ọ́ nìyẹn. Protect yourself with what you believe in wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀fù sí ẹ yóò yẹ yín Ọlọ́run ibi tẹ́ gbé wa jù lẹ́yìn sí bus stop tẹ́ já wa sí yóò yẹ yín jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Àtàdé pọ̀ jù Ọ̀pẹ́yẹmí wọ́n ní ẹ̀ka alẹ́ Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby kò ní rẹ̀yìn ní orúkọ Jésù àmì o wọ́n ní owó tí wọ́n ń gbà lọ́wọ́ Fúlàní kò jẹ́ kí wọ́n lè mú wọn kí Ọlọ́run ṣàánú wa o wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀fù sí a o. Mo sì rí nǹkan panu náà ẹjá lọ tààràtàrà sọ́dọ̀ àti màámi ìbà màámi wọ́n ní ìbà Ọlọ́run ló ń bá wa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ògo ni fún Ọlọ́run lókè ọ̀run glory be to God in the highest wọ́n ní àyà èmi faramọ́ ìmọ̀ràn wòlíì Ọlọ́run yẹn láti dira níwọ̀n ìgbà tí mi ò bá ti bà tọmọlàkejì mi jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kọ́mọ̀ bá tèmi náà jẹ́ situation in Nigeria now demands kí ènìyàn di àmúre rẹ̀ gidigidi o God bless àyà o God bless CSI God bless Oòduà Nation God bless you too. Ìyàwó mi Fúnmilọ́lá Bello wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby ibà kéde fún Yorùbá ẹlẹ́yà tí ń bínú ẹlẹ́yà fún Yorùbá Nation káfàtà nìkan ó ní nǹkan ò ní ṣe ẹ̀mí yín pẹ̀lú àṣẹ Èdùmàrè àmì wàhálà kò ní dé bá yín àmì o àtẹ̀yìn náà àti gbogbo àwa ìyàwó yín gbádùn yín lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ òbí ẹ kò ní ṣubú dànù àmì ẹ kí àyà love you. We love you too. Wọ́n toast pẹ̀lú wine, a cup of wine. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni bàámi Òkènlá Adédọ̀tún wọ́n ní Olùkùnmi Bobby. In fairness, defence minister tuntun yìí is a right person for that office. Ó mọ gbogbo technicality ìbò iná technicalities involved. Ṣùgbọ́n gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì gbọ́dọ̀ provide enough arms and ammunition láti lè dojúkọ àwọn bandits yìí nítorí no matter how professional tí kò bá sí irinṣẹ́ tó tó òfúùtù fẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ̀ lásán ni o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni tí ò bá sí owó gidi. Ẹ̀sùn kírun jàre ọ̀rẹ́ mi love you wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀fù sí àti nǹkan panu mọ́ mi Victoria Badejo wọ́n ní ibà ìfẹsọ̀wápọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o kó àsìkò yìí o gbogbo àwa olólùfẹ́ Obi àtàyà breaking news àdúpẹ́ pé Mínísítà Badaru ti ń da nǹkan rú ó ti lọ àlọ́ rámirámi láàrí o ẹnìkan ìrábọ̀ rẹ̀ ní fún bandit financial supporters kí Ọlọ́run fi ìṣọ́ rẹ̀ sọ gbogbo àwa ẹbí wa tó wà ní Nàìjíríà mi ọdún ayọ̀ láòsí Oòduà Nation ogun mẹ́bàá we move wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀sì àmúrí wine àmúrí flower ẹjẹ́ àdọ́dọ̀ ẹlẹ́yà mi ẹlẹ́yà wọ́n ní máa mi o ẹ̀mẹ́ta náà kọ Stella Ogunbajo ni wọ́n reference sí wọ́n ní mi ò níbi tí mò ń lọ because mo ti lóyún fún ọkọ mi o nítorí náà tá a dé yìí àjọ máa fi wèrè mo wèrè ìyàwó fẹ́ máa fi wèrè mo wèrè jẹun kò fẹ́ mọ́ mi dání ló at bomi crystal wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀bù sí àwọn ní àpò oṣù tuntun o wọ́n mi yọ yẹ̀yìn ibà ìfẹ́ gangan rè. Mọ́mí Mary Odunuyi wọ́n ní òbí tèmi nìkan àtàyà Mary Odunuyi tèmi nìkan wọ́n ní ibà oníròyìn gbọ́ǹkọ́ gbé agboolé ọlọ́yọ̀ọ́yà dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run fún ìgbésẹ̀ tuntun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nípasẹ̀ Trump tó dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àdúrà àti gbogbo akitiyan yín lórí ìjàngbara Yorùbá nation kò ní já sí asán àṣẹ o àyàmùkín ayọ̀ wa ti dé tán o wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀sẹ̀ àti nǹkan panu Yorùbá nation of Yorùbá ire o ire kàbìtì. At Mákànjú Anífowóṣe wọ́n ní òbí ẹkú iṣẹ́ ìlú Ọlọ́run kú iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ Ìbàdàn ní ìwòrò òdù ní àwọn tí wọ́n fi hàn pẹ̀lú ọ̀bẹ yẹn o kí Ọlọ́run gbà wá o. Ìbàdàn náà ní tírélà kó wọn wọ Ìbàdàn náà ló ti kó àwọn ọlọ́bẹ. Yorùbá nation of Yorùbá wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀ sí Amamayo from Texas USA ẹ̀sìn tẹ́jú wa débẹ̀ já wa lọ sọ́dọ̀ mọ́ mi ní Netherlands Dorcas Jalo wọ́n ní cheese paul fọ́tómi kámẹ́rà mi ẹ̀wẹ̀yẹ pàkàpàkà Mushin olóòṣà wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀ sí àyà ọkọ̀ àwa òpèké Mushin olóòṣà. At Ìdẹ̀ra wọn ní Yorùbá ó dàbí pé wọ́n ti fi màálù ṣépè fún Yorùbá ṣé dandan ni kí ẹ máa jẹ màálù ni àtẹnujẹ kó máa ní pa ọmọ Odùduwà ìkú ìpàdé ọmọ ilé Oòduà gbèwá o kò ní gbọ̀dàlẹ̀ àṣẹ wàá. At Jeremiah Ọbaníṣọlá bá mi wọ́n ní Ìbàdàn ni ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìwòrò odò ẹ̀ṣin yọ yẹ̀yìn. At Emmanuel Adeoye so ti wá wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby ẹlẹ́hà tèmi ń kọ́ ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ ẹlẹ́hà ó dáa ẹlẹ́hà fún mi ni mo fẹ́ o ó dáa trouble maker lẹ̀ ń wá òun nítorí mo ti ra búrẹ́dì àti tíì gbígbóná sílẹ̀ fún èmi àti ẹlẹ́hà fún mi yìí jẹ búrẹ́dì o àyà àti Bobby gbogbo wa àtìyàwó Bobby àti àyà fún gbogbo ilé aláyọ̀ wọn ni àwọn jẹ búrẹ́dì lọ ẹbí mi kó àwọn èso yẹn kíwì àti pear. Bá mi Sọ́líù Musliu wọ́n ní ẹkú iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ sá bá mi ó yẹn ti pè yín òyọ́ ìyẹn kò ní yẹ ẹ̀lẹ́ sámọ́bìnrin sí a. At Morenike wọ́n ní ẹ̀lú Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby láti ọ̀dọ̀ Ajia Bintu from New Jersey USA mo ń gbádùn ìròyìn yín o mo darapọ̀ mọ́ yín ní ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì sẹ́yìn ẹ bá mi kí mọ̀mọ́ wa Alájà Bintu ẹ bá mi kí wọn káàbọ̀ o mọ́ mi yọ ìyẹ̀yẹ́ gbádùn wa dọ́ba ẹsẹ̀ ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ni. At Waitimi olórí ọ̀dọ́ wọn ni it is only Nigeria where some respected notable elders make excuse for folks who are involved in criminality. Ẹlẹ́hà fún mi wọ́n ní dádì wa tí ẹni kí n máa lọ sílé wọn padà lé mi jáde ẹlẹ́hà fún mi wá dá nǹkan lẹ́nu rí ìkànnì yìí o wọ́n ní ṣé ni mò ń ṣẹ́ẹ̀kẹ́ èébú sí gbogbo ará ilé ẹjọ́ ṣé mò ń ṣẹ́ẹ̀kẹ́ èébú ni ábìrì lọ́wọ́ mọ́mí wa Ògúnbánjọ àti mọ́mí wa Bridget mo sá ti padà wá sílé ọkọ̀ ń bó ẹlẹ́hà fún mi ń kí yín o arógo. Mọ́mí Stella Odele wọ́n ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby ẹ̀ka alẹ́ o please kí ẹnikẹ́ni má ṣe bú bàbá ìránṣẹ́ yìí nǹkan tó ń sọ yé o àṣẹ Ọlọ́run ó lè mú kí wọ́n kọjú ìjà síra àwọn ẹni tó bá pé nínú ẹ̀mí kò sí nǹkan tí a kò lè fi ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run ṣe gbogbo iṣẹ́ ni ọ̀rọ̀ ni Mósè sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ni Èlíjà tí iná bọ̀ wọ́n tẹ lọ́ọ̀bù sí àwọn jẹ́ wá dọ́dọ̀ Mọ́mí Stella Ògúnbàjọ ẹjẹ́ òwe yẹn dẹ ẹlẹ́hà lóhùn ẹlẹ́hà náà fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjà tẹ̀tì o wọ́n ní ìyàwó ẹlẹ́hà ó máa tó rọ̀ lára yín o àánú ọkọ wa ló ń ṣe mí ẹni ẹ ti lóyún ẹ jọ̀ọ́ fún ta ni ọkọ wa ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ tètè múra sílẹ̀ láti ṣe DNA kí ló dé ṣé ẹ trust ẹlẹ́hà. Àti mo dúpẹ́ Akérèlé ìfà àtẹkàn sí eyín mi òkè lónìí ni wọ́n ní Olúwo ti gba bílíọ̀nù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a rí inú kámẹ́rà ó di dandan kí àwọn ará Ìbàdàn san nínú rẹ̀ o ọ̀rọ̀ ti bẹ́yìn o kí ló dé tó yẹ pé Olúwo ló gbowó tára Ìbàdàn wà rí ìsan bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ẹja dọ́dọ̀ at Isaac Strong Tower wọ́n ní a lot of dangerous prophecies has been said about Lagos how I wish the governor should take it serious. Bá mi fọlọ́n sọ́ta nímọ̀lá wọn ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby Balógun oníròyìn ẹ̀kú ètò Ọlọ́run yóò gbà wá lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọ̀bàyéjẹ́ àwọn òkè ọya Ọlọ́run ti fẹ́ dí wọn síta ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ kò ní lọ láìjì ààrẹ Trump máa bọ̀ ẹ wá bá wa hú wọn tí gbòǹgbò ilé tó lọ ọmọ Oòduà no going back wọ́n fi nǹkan panu ránṣẹ́. Òun ẹbẹ́ náà ni àtọ̀ Lábọ̀dé Ọlájúwọ̀n wọn ní Mẹ́tàwálé ti ya wèrè pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ olórí burúkú tí ó ń ti ẹnu rẹ̀ jáde. Art lecturer mi mọ́ mi Fatima Abubakar àwọn testars àwọn ni good morning sir Bobby ibà ìfẹsọ̀wápọ̀ well done boss ọlọ́run ní bọ́ọ̀sì wa you are blessed inshallah àmín kún fàyà kún wọ́n ní we will overcome all these problems we are passing through in Nigeria. It is true that there will be no power that can extend Almighty God's power. Yes, very sure. Ó dá káàbọ̀ padà o ẹ̀mí náà ti ń retí yín àyá ṣe dáadáa lóde mo ti ń retí rẹ̀ sóò ṣèjọgbọ̀n sóò wa ọkọ̀ sóò sáré àṣàpàjúdé torí bàá mi Akínyẹmí òní wọ́n fẹjọ́ rẹ̀ sùn mí o ó dá àwọn ẹja jókòó déédéé ẹja wà nǹkan panu táwọn fi sọ̀rọ̀ àjìjà pápápá oṣù tó ń lọ náà nù ẹ̀mí ò ní bá a lọ láṣẹ Ọlọ́run Èdùmàrè akasọ kejìlá tá a mẹ́sẹ̀ léyìí akasọ kejìlá tó parí ọdún tá a mẹ́sẹ̀ léyìí ẹ̀mí wa yóò làjá a tún wọnú ọdún tí ń bọ̀ láṣẹ Ọlọ́run Èdùmàrè ó dá o ṣe ẹ ti jókòó déédéé ẹ ti wá nǹkan panu alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ nu àkórí ìròyìn wa táwọn fẹ̀ lójú lónìí ẹja lọ jábẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọ̀dọ̀ Bwala ó tún ganu sí máìkì ó ní kò sẹ́ni tó lè ní kí ọ̀gá àwọn resign ó ní kò sẹ́ni tó lè ní kí ọ̀gá àwọn resign pé lóòótọ́ insecurity pọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n sí ọ̀gá àwọn sán jọ bí ẹni tí wọ́n ń sùn ni pé ọ̀gá àwọn òṣùwọ̀n wo wàhálà yín ní pa wọ́n kú lọ ikú yín náà ń kú lọ àwẹ̀ yín náà ń gbà lójoojúmọ́ pé ẹ wo gbogbo ìsọ̀fún ẹ wo gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ ẹ wo gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ ẹ wo gbogbo ìsọ̀fún tó ń ṣe pé ní sùúrù kò dùn mọ́ àrí olódòdó ẹnu báwọn èèyàn ṣe ń kú o pé gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ ti ń sọ pé Christian genocide pé kò sí ti ń jẹ́rẹ̀ mú ni ó tún rántí sọ eléyìí ìdààmú dààbò tí ìdè báwọ̀ àtọ̀gá rẹ̀ ó tún rántí eléyìí gbogbo ó sì wá tí ẹ rí nígbà tí ó jẹ́ pé gbogbo àwọn tán rán síta yìí kọ̀ríkúlọ̀mù kan fún wọn pé kán rí ìfi sọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan bíi 2 weeks ago òun náà sì fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ wọn mọ̀ pé update ti dé bá ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ti Amẹ́ríkà tí ààrẹ olódòdó fúnra rẹ̀ ìjọba wọn gan-an ti ń gbègbèsẹ̀ tí Amẹ́ríkà fẹ́ ó ti ń gbègbèsẹ̀ tí Amẹ́ríkà fẹ́ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀yìn agbẹnusọ lásánlásán nǹkan ti rán yín láti wọ́n bá rán yẹn ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ ń ṣe ẹrú ẹ̀yẹn mọ́ fi tọmọ jẹ ni ó dá ẹ bá ń tẹ̀sí ilẹ̀ agbára torí àmú ẹni tí ó takú rẹ̀ bọ̀ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ wọ́n sáfẹ́ dá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní herdsmen and farmer Fúlàní herdsmen tẹ̀sí fẹ́ yí mọ́ ẹ fi gbogbo taratara náà bọ́n wí wọ́n ń lò bọ́n ẹ gbàbọ́n lọ́wọ́ wọn Amẹ́ríkà ti sọ ẹ gbàbọ́n lọ́wọ́ wọn àbẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n ṣe ń fìbọn para wọn ṣeré lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta ẹ̀ bí ó ṣe mọ́ rí lọ́nu o Ọlọ́run ó tún já rí fọ́nrán mi mú wá fún yín láìpẹ́ tán tún fìbọn ibi tán ti ń ṣàjọyọ̀ tán tún para wọn lọ bí èèyàn mẹ́ta la gbọ́ pé wọ́n pa àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké méjì àti obìnrin níta náà yẹn ó dá ẹ bá ń tẹ̀sí ilẹ̀ agbára ẹ jẹ́ àgbọ̀rọ̀ bó ṣe ń dìfẹ́ǹdì ọ̀gá rẹ̀ Bwala náà ni bàbá wa padà dé à ń lọ sọ́dọ̀ Reverend Dachomo.
Is the federal government negotiating with terrorists?
So this is a difficult question, I must tell you. There was a time federal government was negotiating. And I think that Erufai once talked about a national policy at that time when they said both state and federal government can be in a situation where they will have to negotiate, because if your duty is to preserve the life of people and citizens of Nigeria are in danger and negotiation is the only way to save them and you have to save them, then you have to do all that you need to do to save them at that time. But President Tinubu came with this zero tolerance for negotiation because it then fits into this terrorism financing. You see, you are constructively financing terrorism without knowing. So instead of elements who are sponsoring them, by giving them the money as ransom to collect the people, they also use the ransom money to buy more weapons. So the federal government does not, and it does not tolerate the idea of negotiation.
So what gave for the release of the Kebbi girls, and what is going to give for the release of the St. Mary's children?
There are lots of factors that can occasion that. One, you know that there are individuals who call themselves negotiators. When it comes to negotiation, it's not in all cases that money is involved. There are cases where the people might feel that if they don't release these people, there's going to be a bigger problem that they can manage. That can serve as incentive for them to release the people. Sometimes people they listen to, they could be these religious clerics or anybody they could listen to, can also be a factor. At other times, it can also be that federal government has sort of encircled them in terms of saying from the intelligence point of view, you at least have an idea of where they are, right? But you have a difficulty of going to bomb there because then you have soft people with them. But then you are giving them warning and they can decide to turn them over. At other times, on their own, they can choose to do that. I also have to admit that sometimes families of individuals that are kidnapped, they end up paying the ransom, or state government end up paying the ransom. All of these things are possibilities for the release of the people. But you asked the question whether federal government did pay ransom, and I told you no. Whether federal government will pay ransom, and I'm saying no.
But that's difficult to believe, Mr. Bwala, because the terrorists made a video with the Kebbi schoolgirls mocking the federal government and telling the whole world that they negotiated with us.
Let me tell you
They
something.
weren't quite clear, how much in dollars was exchanged, but indeed they said that there was negotiation and they were mocking a whole government.
That's the whole essence of terrorism. Terrorism is like I said, it's a belligerent war, right? You play on the mind of the people. Why do they call them terror? They inflict fear. Sometimes.
ṣé ti rí ìdí tá a ṣe lo Ọ̀gbẹ́ni yìí irọ́ tiẹ̀ àti rẹ́nù tá lérò pé irọ́ eléyìí mọ̀ wá parọ́ lójú kámẹ́rà ó mọ̀ múra ó mọ̀ gẹ́fìlà yóò sì tún ojú ṣe yóò farún gbọ̀n ó sì mọ̀ pé irọ́ ló ń bọ̀ wá pa mi ò gbọ́ rí kéèyàn sì mọ̀ bọ̀ lójú kámẹ́rà gbogbo alárí fídíò yẹn náà níbi tí àwọn arábí ti mọ̀ọ́kì wípé ṣé bí ìjọba sọ wípé àwọn yẹn ti ṣe fídíò lẹ̀ kò yé yín wọ́n ti ṣe fídíò àwọn ọmọ yẹn lẹ̀ kó tó di pé wọ́n rìlíìsì wọn fún ìjọba wọ́n dẹ̀ ti mọ̀ pé ìjọba máa parọ́ so nínú fídíò yẹn tán ti ṣe sílẹ̀ náà ti ń sọ wípé in case tíjọba bá parọ́ páwọn ò negotiate o òun rèé o wọ́n tún bí àwọn ọmọ yẹn o ẹ wá wo eléyìí kò sí rọ́tẹ̀lì balẹ̀ ẹnu Ọ̀gbẹ́ni kò yàtọ̀ sí rẹ́nù ó kàn jẹ́ pé ẹnu tiẹ̀ máa fẹ́ ní rí tẹnu tiẹ̀ ń gbọ̀n ó perfect ń bẹ. sẹ́yìn náà gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ méjì tó kọ́kọ́ sọ wípé nǹkan méjì ló fà á tí wàhálà fi máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ àtọ́ fi ń pààyàn Nàìjíríà tó fi pọ̀ tó yìí ó ní election ń bọ̀ alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ó lẹ́lẹ́kejì ni pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí Donald Trump ti sọ̀rọ̀ kò sọ wípé àwọn Nàìjíríà ó ní security tẹ́lẹ̀ o kò sọ yẹn o ọ̀rọ̀ Donald Trump ó ní ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ògbà yẹn gbọ́ meanwhile ọ̀gá ààrẹ tó dọ̀gá ààrẹ gangan ó ń bá ó ti ń fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú USA o ìwọ jáde ẹ̀ tún wá ń push story mi propaganda ti báyé àwọn arábí jẹ́ o. ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ Nàìjíríà kan wọ́n ti ń béèrè pé kí Olódòdẹ kó kọ̀wé fipò lẹ̀ ìkànnì wọn náà ni ọmọ bàbá Fẹ́mi Fálànà Falz the bad guy. bó ti jẹ́ pé ńgbà tán bí Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bwala ó ní èèyàn kan ṣoṣo bó o lẹ́sẹ̀ wá dá lóhùn Haúsá sì ló náà o ìyẹn Bwala o àbí Haúsá la lè kà sí bínú bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ló ti wá. gbọ́ wípé Kristẹni ni òun náà sì ń tẹnu mọ́ ó ní àní òun sì ń tẹnu mọ́ wípé kò sí ní tó ń jẹ́ Christian genocide ṣùgbọ́n ẹ já mọ́ bọ́rọ̀ bọ́ nítorí eégún aláré lọ́rọ̀ yìí yóò tún fẹnu ara rẹ̀ kò bára rẹ̀ nínú interview yìí.
A popular Nigerian artist, a Nigerian, bona fide Nigerian, just like you, Falz the bad guy. I'm sure you know him, a lawyer. Asked the president to resign. In fact, he quoted the president's tweet, and then more Nigerians have asked the president to resign. But here's my point, Mr. Bwala. The president said...
one out of 230 million.
They're more than that, but that's not even the point. Okay. Here's my point. He said that how can territories be occupied in a civilized country? That was the premise under which now President asked President Goodluck Jonathan to resign. Now, during that period, around that time, I'll tell you the territories that were under occupation. You're from Borno State.
Yes.
So you're well aware that major part of Borno was under occupation.
And none is under occupation at the moment.
Chibok, and all we had was terrorism to deal with then.
Right.
But today, Mr. Bwala, I'll tell you the states that are under occupation. Not just areas in the state. Now, areas within different states. We have Zamfara State. Areas and territories in Zamfara State, the forests under occupation. Katsina, Kaduna, I'm coming, Kebbi, Sokoto. Even in Benue, Plateau, Niger State, Kwara State, Mr.
All
Bwala,
these places
I'm getting there.
Okay.
The FCT. Even in Borno State, there have been attacks this year, and I'm sure you're aware of that. Yobe State, Taraba. These are more areas under occupation that we had in 2014. So yet again, I ask, is it fair to call for that resolution?
I think your question is like an oxymoron, because you cannot in one breath say a place is under occupation, and at the same time you're talking about places where they come and strike and go. If you talk about occupation, like in the case of the past you mentioned, they were actually in control of the local government. They were collecting tax. They were running the administration of the local government. That's occupation. When people come and attack and go, it cannot be classified as occupation under any description, right? But I'll proceed further to answer the question of whether the president should resign or not. You see, being confronted with a problem is not a problem. When you lack solution to solving a problem, then you have a problem. Because in life, there is no part of this planet where there are no security situations. I was telling my guys in BBC, I said the crime rate in the United States is more than the crime rate in Nigeria. And when I said that in Arise, my friend Charles Anagolo said, but the difference is that in Nigeria, it is the case of homicide or be dead, in the other one, I said, but criminal, crime.
kó tó bí lọ́rọ̀ kan yóò ti sáré mọ́ dárúkọ orílẹ̀-èdè mi ṣe focus lórí orílẹ̀-èdè yín kẹ́ ẹ má fi tó orílẹ̀-èdè mi ṣe kínní orílẹ̀-èdè tí nǹkan míì ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n ń para wọn USA lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ń gbégbèsè pàápàá in fact mo sì rí president wọn tí ń lọ tí ń bọ̀ bí ilẹ̀kẹ̀ ẹ̀dì in fact wọ́n ń ṣe meeting bí kan ó tún sùn ó ń tó ògbé báyìí ni ìyẹn Trump ó ń tó ògbé báyìí ni ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ju president yẹn lọ ẹ wàá máa fi tí ò jọra wọn wéra wọn ẹ wàá máa wá àwáwí n tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lábẹ́ ìṣèjọba Jonathan kò tó yìí bàbá kan sì sọ fún wa ó ní 18 ó wá láti Katsina ó ní 18 local government làwọn aráabí ti gbà ṣùgbọ́n sẹ́rí èmi ò mọ̀ bóyá àwọn tó ń interview Ọ̀gbẹ́ni gan bóyá àwọn ọ̀gbọ́n tó ní àbí kò yé mi tó fi ń ráyè mú gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ jẹ báyìí èmi ò lè interview Ọ̀gbẹ́ni kírọ̀ rẹ̀ mọ́ jà yóò ìtìjú yóò tọwọ́ bojú kò ń bẹ̀ ni.
It will be laziness on the part of government to be concerned about individuals exercising right of expression.
So was it legit then to ask President Goodluck Jonathan to resign?
And I will tell you the distinction.
Was it academic?
No, I will solve the problem of this question.
It's a yes or no question, Mr. Bwala.
I'm coming now. Cambia. In the days of Jonathan, they didn't have an idea of the solution. Why did I say that? They were in denial about the fact that they were Chibok girls kidnapped.
No, Ashwaji Bola Tinubu then asked him to resign in November.
Yes, so what I'm saying...
Months after the abduction. In fact, at that time, they had contracted, they had mercenaries who were clearing out those areas. And I'm sure you're from Borno State, so you're aware of this thing.
Yes.
So it's different.
But do you get what I'm saying? So first, I'm saying you're calling
Was it legitimate for him to call, or was it fair for him to call for him?
Yes, when the president then, as Ashwaji Bola Tinubu called for the resignation, it was a legit call. Why?
So is it legit? Is it legit now?
There cannot be a good conversation without giving the right of answer. You know,
I thought you answered. You said
no,
it was
I have
legit.
not. No,
you have actually. You said there was a legitimate call.
Okay, you want this kind of short answer? Okay, then it was a legit call. Now it's not legit.
It's not legit.
Next question.
So why is it not legit? Now, one of the things that we see this government do, and we've seen all kinds of travel.
Àwọn oníròyìn wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe iṣẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ kàn ṣe ni ó náà ń bá wíyẹn wípé ìwọ ní ààrẹ Tinubu kan tó dà rẹ̀ ńgbà náà nígbà tí Jonathan wà lórí oyè pé kí Jonathan fìwé kó kọ̀wé fipò lẹ̀ ìwọ ló lẹ́jìtì mo ṣe pé ìpè yẹn ní ìsìn àwọn èèyàn wá ń pe ìpè yẹn ní ìsìn ó ní ò lẹ́jìtì ààrẹ olódòdó ẹnìkan ló pe ìpè yẹn ńgbà náà káwọn èèyàn tó fẹnu sí o ṣùgbọ́n ńgbà tí fas wá pèpè yẹn ń sìn ó ní èèyàn kan ṣoṣo láàrin 250 million ó fẹ́ fẹnu tá fásá bí ìgbẹ́ ni pé kì í sọmọ Nàìjíríà èèyàn kan lè pe ìpè èèyàn kan náà ni yóò kọ́kọ́ pe ìpè káwọn kan tó second motion a sì gbé Haúsá kan wá fún yín lánàá tí mo ń sòótọ́ ó sòótọ́ fún wa ó ní nemesis ló ń catch up pẹ̀lú wọn ẹ rí i pé àwọn ìròyìn tá a mú wá lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta yìí ó ń follow on the following ni step by step ni Haúsá yẹn sọ lánàá ó ní nemesis kama ló ń catch up pẹ̀lú wọn pé torí wọ́n fi sabotage wọ́n fi ọ̀rọ̀ Chibok girls wọ́n fi sabotage kínní ni ìjọba Jonathan ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀fẹ̀ kan ṣe irú ẹ̀fẹ́ yìí ní ìsìn ẹ̀ wá ń wá ta máa ta mọ̀ ẹ̀fẹ̀ mọ̀ sápamọ́ sẹ́yìn kankan ń tó mú olódò rẹ pé wípé kí Jonathan resign kí ló mú táwọn èèyàn náà ò lè pè pé kó olódò rẹ resign ní ìsìn Jonathan ò sì ràn yín ó kàn fi yín sí ẹ̀yẹ yín rẹ́rìn lọ yín rẹ́rìn bọ̀ ni ẹ jẹ́ àwa gbọ́ toró ń sọ ó ní wọn mọ tó yẹ kán ṣe ààrẹ olódò dẹ mọ ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ kán gbé gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ náà wọ́n ń rí jíìgì wọ́n ń chẹ́ǹjì èèyàn kan fi ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n resign ní torí pé health rẹ̀ irọ́ náà làbá ló bá ń bẹ̀ kí ni result làwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà fẹ́ rí kì í ṣe process ojoojúmọ́ ẹ gbé gbèsè ilé yóò fèlì ẹ tún wá gbèsè mi àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà sì ń kú ó mì pẹ́ mọ́ntẹ́ǹsì àìmọye process ilẹ̀ ti gbé ebi process kan lè gbé lọ́jọ́ sí tẹ́ ẹ tú àwọn kan lẹ̀ pẹ̀lú presidential pardon gbàtọ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà pariwo lẹ́yìn lórí lẹ́sẹ̀ mọ̀ pé mẹ́hẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ so ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ ní pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbésẹ̀ tẹ́ ń gbé lábẹ́ ìṣèjọba yín gan-an ó mẹ́hẹ̀ ẹ sì fẹ́ káwọn àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà ní sùúrù wọ́n sì ń pa àwọn èèyàn lọ ebi náà lẹ ti ń pè pé wípé lẹ ti ń gbé propaganda kiri wípé òye ṣe kìrìsìtẹ́nì nìkan náà ń pa ó dá àwọn yòókù tán ń pa bó lẹ ṣe dáàbò bò wọ́n.
Before the president became president, because I have to give you context is everything. There were prison break. We no longer have it. There were kidnappings during the daylight in Abuja and the other parts of Nigeria. We stopped it. As a matter of fact, just a few months ago, before this incessant security problem, we arrested the leaders of Ansaru terrorist organization. They were in U.S. watch list. The United States government lauded Nigeria. Then months prior to that, we had the surrendering of bandits, which the American embassy lauded Nigeria. I'm counting result. Immediately after these first 2, 3, 4 abductions that you see, in Borno State about 4 days ago, the people abducted, we recovered. Same day. That is its result. The girls from Kwara, I mean the children from Kwara, or rather the people from Kwara that were abducted, we had them come back. It is result. So whether it is mathematics, English, chemistry, it is a result. When all the people abducted are brought back, it's a result.
But there's
another one again. There's another one again. After that, then we had 20-something number of those that were kidnapped in Kibi. That is also called what?
There has even been more. We're having incessant. That's right. I'm not going back to those time. I'm talking about right now.
And me, I'm answering the question in terms of result. You said.
Because effort is not 300 students, is it children now that were kidnapped? We have just about 50 back. So that is a very concerning situation. Right. And then we're hearing of more abductions. So there's something not, I think where I'm going to is not about a debate. It's the government's right in its intelligence to be able to curb occurrence. Because success for terrorists is the ability to pick up people and not be caught. That we now go back and whether we negotiated, we paid ransom, whatever it is, this is more reactive. You get my drift?
Yes, and success for us as a government is that when they are picked up, we recover them.
So you're waiting for them to be picked up?
I'm coming. That's the problem. The problem is you want me to allow you to ask the question, but you don't want me to answer.
No problem. No,
so success for them, in your own words, is for them to be able to abduct people. Success in our own words is for us to be able to recover the people when they are abducted and also to ensure that they are not abducted again. For example, the use of soft target that I started by telling you, schools. Why did the president issue an emergency on insecurity and decided that we should bring back the Save the School initiative, where schools that are outside the town are going to be brought back to the town under an arrangement called the mega school. Those in the local government are coming back integrated into the unity. Success for us is finding ways to prevent them from doing that. Success also for us is looking at the limitations that we have, which is the limited number of military personnel and police personnel, and coming up with an order to increase the number by asking the police to recruit 50,000, and asking the army to recruit more than 20,000, and then recall the police people that are attached to VIP, which have over 11,000, then ask the SSS to get trained men to go to the forest and help out, and then talk about the civil NSTC, what do you call it?
Defense.
Civil defense to also play a part. Churches are told now to beef up security vanguard. This to us is success, finding measures for prevention and then recovering of those that are abducted. I cannot sit here in whatever language to tell you there will never be a security situation in Nigeria. It will amount to giving a false hope to anybody. Because you and I, as you sit there, I sit here, you know that Nigeria has porous border. You don't need somebody to speak in tongues for you. You also know that we have limited number of military personnel. You know we have limited number of equipment for surveillance system like you find in advanced country. You also know we have the complication associated with terrorism in Nigeria is far more.
So, Mr. Bwala, I don't want to cut into your thoughts. Isn't that a reason to call for help?
Yeah, we've been working with partners. Maybe the perspective of your help is different from mine.
No, I'm just...
If the federal government is working with partners, is it an acknowledgement that, the government is not in control of the situation?
Even the United States of America need us to help them, and we've been helping them in many ways.
Mr. Bwala, your comparisons may not be
you're talking about help from
you refer
partners.
to the United States having more insecurity than Nigeria. That may be debatable, but we read the stories here, Mr. Bwala, and there is a higher rate of deterrence, even if there is a serious crime situation in the United States. But that is not the situation. Mr. Bwala, Nigeria spends trillions of naira on defense budget without any result. And I just want to read to you the number of abductions, especially since the declaration of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. In Kogi State, bandits abducted a pastor, his wife, church members, an undetermined number of persons. In Sokoto State, a bride, her close friend, and 8 other residents were abducted by armed men in Chacho village. We've had in the last 8 days alone, since early this week, by the way, not today, a total of 395 persons have been reportedly abducted from 7 states of Nigeria, out of which only 79 victims have been released. Right. So if you're saying that, in the former administration, they didn't even have an idea of how to go about it, then what can we say about this administration? It's also a miss about strategy or ideas about how to rein in on the insecurity challenge.
So this is the problem I have. When we started, I am more about solution, about what we're doing. When this whole crisis started, the first time was about debunking the notion of Christian genocide, because we are about solution, people were about profiling. After we've debunked that, we say we are more about solution. My brother was one that said, let me take you back. And by the time he took us back now, you people stayed at the back. You don't want to make...
I confronted you with the facts, Mr. Bwala.
No, you didn't. You didn't say any fact.
Your characterization of it
no Christian
is
genocide.
unfair.
No. We'll let one after the other.
So because you're saying
I'm coming. We've already done that.
No, you cannot. You've not done. That's a lie.
It's not a subject of debate.
No, we tried that one. Don't say that's a lie. That's very, very wrong. As a journalist to look at your case and say that's a lie. You can say it is factually incorrect, but you can never say that's a lie.
Let me say what I want to say.
But do you know what you said is wrong?
No, it's not. I'm saying that there are people... Just hold on. Let me establish my point. You as a government is saying we don't have state-backed. Because what is the American government saying? Christians have been killed. And you're not doing anything about it. That's the argument. You say, no. You're narrowing your profiling and your narrative to say This killing affects both Muslims and Christians. But there are Christian leaders who have doubled down on that position. So you can't dismiss that position and say you've dispelled it. It's a mixed bag of those genocide argument, geopolitics, resource control, economic issue.
Now you are living up to what you are supposed to. Sí irọ́ rẹ̀, ìwé irọ́ rẹ̀, sí kan wájú báyìí kẹ́ sọ fún pé onírọ́ ni. Mo like ìkíní.
The report of those who hold the position that it is a genocide. But you have failed to mention that Reuters, BBC, Sky News, CNN, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, I have mentioned their names, 6 of them, have done their fact check and came to the conclusion that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria.
I think you and I are mixing the points. That is their position. Listen,
the one you give, is it not the position of others? Is it not the position of others?
This is the lived-in reality of the people we've had on this show.
You are mixing. You are not mixing. Somebody came and told you his position, right? And I gave you a counter position.
That is your position. I don't think
the one you gave, is it your own?
That is not the
one you told me. Is it your own?
It's not my. I'm quoting what the people who have the lived-in experience to say. Listen, Mr. Abala, just a moment. The government or Washington Post, whoever, can characterize it the way they want, and is within their right to.
And the people you're quoting should not have characterized it. They should have said. Let me tell you the premise. Let me tell you, brother.
I'm just putting their position to you.
But let me tell you. Let me submit to you with the greatest respect. Why journalists are not helping in solving problem? Can you deny the fact that there are Muslims that are killed?
No, that's a fact.
Can you deny that there are people who have not identified as Christians or Muslims that are also killed?
That's a fact.
So when you have a fact that Christians are killed, Muslims are killed, those who have not identified with a religion are killed, will that qualify as a genocide?
Because the argument of the Christian people who are making this allegation is that it's been promoted by Islamic jihadists. I hope you get the distinction.
So the argument also of the individual I mentioned to you, who are in a position to know what is genocide or not, came to the conclusion that there is no Christian genocide, but there is a killing.
There's no exclusive preserve in terms of knowledge of what a genocide is. It's a common sense. It's not a common sense. It's not a number. It's not a common sense. Sorry, my brother. It's not a common sense. It's not about. I think we mix this genocide argument because sometimes if we don't identify all the problem, we'll not address it correctly. If we deny the issue,
you know what you should have been saying.
Just hold on.
You should have been saying there are Christian communities who are complaining that they are being killed. I will not deny it. Government has not denied it. I'm coming and allow me to learn. I allowed you. If you say there are pastors, communities that are complaining that their people are being killed, I'll be the last person to deny that. We accept that. When you say there is a Christian genocide, what is genocide?
Those are their words. I'm quoting to you.
So I'm talking. Then the counter words.
Genocide. If you look at the UN Convention, Article 2 of that, it doesn't talk about scale. So even if it's 1 million, it talks about intent. Just you're a lawyer, so you're in a better position.
By who? By who?
United Nations.
No, I'm saying intent by who?
Intent by those who perpetrate what is considered to be genocide.
Okay, so let me tell you again. Has there been genocide of Muslims?
I wouldn't know that.
How would you be your bias in your mind?
Let me ask you.
Because I now tell him, as an intellectual, I'm telling you, there is a fact. There is a fact, undeniable fact, that also states that there are also Muslims that are killed. You admit it. I told you there's a fact. I'm coming now.
My premise is that the Christians are saying it is promoted by Islamic jihadists. That's the premise you're missing. Anyway, so that my colleagues can comment.
Exactly, over dàrú ni jihadist ló ń pààyàn. Fúnra ara rẹ̀ ó sì sọ láìpẹ́ yìí o wípé àwọn ò deny pé wọ́n target Kristẹni o. Ẹ rántí interview yẹn. Fúnra ara rẹ̀ ó sọ wípé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ò deny pé wọ́n target Kristẹni. This same guy mi ò wá mọ̀dé orí ibi náà ló ti sọ orí channels ni mi ò wá irọ́ orí Arise. Ẹ jẹ́ àgbọ̀ lẹ́nu ọmọbìnrin bóyá yóò nà pa mo ń wọ́n tí ó nà pa pátápátá.
If indeed Muslims are being killed, perhaps that is circumstantial, but there is a real problem.
It was deliberate.
There is a real problem where Christians are being targeted.
So here's the answer to this, and I will say it slowly so you can understand. In all the places where the Muslims were killed, it was not circumstantial. In fact, the data suggests that there are more Muslims that are killed. In number, the casualties are Muslim. You can go to all the northern states. Right. And now, as a government, we don't want to say Christians, Muslims. We just feel there is a problem and we're solving. So when people come with this narrow thinking of Christian genocide, Muslim genocide, they take off the real issue, which is the responsibility of government to fight. That issue, I told you, has been dealt with. Because those who were pushing it in Nigeria, they were hoping that they would get global community to come into that narrative. And we've been able to prove that the global community said that there is no Christian genocide. Well, now the United States government that you talked about that they are calling on, we are on table with them. We have passed that stage. We are finding solutions. We are discussing deeper things on how we can find solutions.
All right, so Mr. Bwala, you said you have data of Christians, Muslims killed. So give us the figures.
So even the Civil Society for Liberties and Human Rights, the foundation of the fulcrum of the falsehood. If you look at their report, you go to their website, look at September, which is the Data.
What
I'm telling you about data.
You said you have data that even shows that more Muslims are killed. So
That's what I'm mentioning to you.
So give us the figures.
Is the microphone not the enter your ear? I said number
you're
one.
quoting another website, Mr. Bwala. Let's
when I say, where do you get data?
No, you said the foundation of this was from that website, the lie. So you are quoting another data which you're using.
So what data do you want me to tell you?
The genocide.
What data do you want me to tell you?
You said you have data.
Have data does it mean I'm the one that wrote it?
Mr. Bwala, you said you have data.
We have data. What are the data?
Muslims are killed.
You must
give us the figures.
Okay. Foundation for Civil Liberties and Human Rights, from their report, updated report September. If you go and read it, more Muslims have been killed. More non-Muslims, people who have not identified with religion, followed by Muslims. Followed by Christians. Yes, in their report, followed by Christians and then Muslims. In this thing for Africa, I mentioned in my previous interview, they also came up with a foundation.
So the government
there are more
data.
government.
So, Mr. Bwala, I guess we're saying doesn't.
I am countering their own narrative. The government is not profiling. We don't believe we can never profile about this number of Christians. No,
and I think
government
that is a
has
challenge.
never and will never be involved in the profiling.
Is it fair for government not to look at that distribution when these claims are laid?
That is why first of all, the government has not drawn up a data of that because the government will be irresponsible to profile people, right? So when they came up with their data, we studied their own report and we found fault with their own. Right. Then we escalated that to other organizations and found fault with.
At last, wọ́n rí mú. At last, wọ́n rí government ò ní data. Wọ́n wá ń ṣa data kiri lórí ẹ̀rọ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àgbọ̀ síwájú sí.
As a government, no, Mr. Bwala, when other data come out and say Nigeria is one of the most corrupt or one of the poorest countries, you say, no, that's subjective data. No, our own data.
Ask me the question?
Mr. Bwala.
No, but let it be specific.
I have had conversations with those in government.
Let it be specific.
Things about...
so I am not that person. Ask me the question that
you represent that government. But the point
okay, then I'm giving you the data also that is not limited to what I produce.
So let me give you the context now. Yeah. The people who stay in the area said that one of the religious leaders said he had conducted over 70 mass burials. In fact, one of those mass burials had 501 people killed. That is a lived reality.
He said.
That is a lived reality.
He said, right?
He has the
data. Has he supplied it?
Has he supplied data? And I expect that the government is working with him.
Has he supplied you?
But here's my point.
He doesn't have an answer.
Mr. Bwala, you are trying to ask me a question you know the answer to already.
What? I don't know the answer.
Then that speaks how well you're doing your job. If you don't have data information,
my brother, if you don't have question, let's go.
So here's my point. The people who live there have said time and again that we are being targeted and killed, and I've given you data. But I want us to wrap up with this point because you said you want to solve issues.
Has the government denied that Christians are killed, just like Muslims are killed?
You're saying that there is.
Has the government denied that?
Mr. Bwala, you know why it will be important for data to be available? It's not just because it's a matter of irresponsibility, because the bigger concern is that Nigerians are being killed, whether they're Christians or Muslims. It is because there is a genuine concern in the communities where there is a lived-in reality that we are being targeted. We're unable to freely express our religious convictions. And as a result, if you do not tackle the root causes, you continue to address the symptoms, and then you'll be unable to sufficiently address the child.
Ẹ wo bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lọ gbogbo interview tó ṣe sẹ́yìn wá, ó sọ ń bì kan wípé gbà pé wọ́n ń tágẹ́ẹ̀tì kìrìsìtẹ́nì. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n ń tún sọ yìí, ó wá ń tún pọ̀ lẹ̀ fún wọn ní gbogbo ibi tó lóun ti lọ. Wọ́n sì ní stage by stage, hàn náà ní bọ́jẹ́ẹ̀tì fún gbogbo ìrìn àjò tán rìn kiri. So nídìí èyí, ìmẹ́tìs kìíní ní Waterloo lélẹ̀ tó wá ṣe ń bì, ó rò pé ó máa find ẹ̀ yìí sí bóun ṣe ń lọ káàkiri. Ó ti dé TVC, àwọn yẹn ń wò báyìí, ó sọ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ dàálẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n bí tó dé ní ìsìn, wọ́n kò ju ẹ̀ torí irọ́ pọ̀ lẹ́nu ẹ̀ gan-an. Nígbà tí ó di orílẹ̀-èdè ò bá wá ní dátà tiwọn. Ó dáa, ẹ mọ̀ wulẹ̀ mú iye kìrìsìtẹ́nì tán pa jáde, ẹ lọ mú dátà gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà tán pa jáde wá. Àbí bó lẹ́ ṣe wá ojútùú sí problem tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá mọ orísun rẹ̀. Tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá mọ iye àwọn èèyàn tán pa, tẹ́ ẹ̀ kàn jáde, tẹ́ ẹ̀ wá ní wọ́n gba iye àwọn èèyàn lẹ̀, ẹ ti ṣe léyìí, ẹ ti ṣe tọ̀hún lórí irọ́. Wọ́n wá bí ó ní data, official data federal government, ó lẹ́ẹ̀ní data, ò ní data èyí tí ẹ̀yin lè rí tí tó pè yín, tẹ́ ẹ lè parọ́, tẹ́ ẹ lè fi rọ́ yí.
Which is an apology of a separatist group. When they brought their report, I studied it. I mean, how can I close my eyes? And I faulted it on the evidence of that, and I challenge anybody. When the one for Africa, Observatory for Africa, Religious Right in Africa, when they came with it, I studied it. Look at the report in their data. All of these reports suggested everybody. The Christians have been killed.
So you choose to
notion,
that,
the notion, listen,
the
notion, no, I said Christians have been killed.
No, you've said that you looked at those ones and then that is what you're relying on. But Reverend Chomo's
you have a selective amnesia, with the respect, and you do a disproportionate, disproportionate analysis. You have not in 1 second in this place mentioned the killing of Muslims.
Mr. Bwala, I will not insult.
Some journalists are the ones creating problems in this country.
I mentioned
by profiling people.
Mr. Bwala, that is not. I mentioned all the states that have been attacked. Majority of the states I
Then I ask you.
So
the killing of one, the killing, I will not retract it.
So that means you're not being factual as well. But the point here is, Mr. Bwala, let's wind down on this point. I have represented
the journalists in Nigeria must play their role in finding solution. This fake news and Hawks narrative of Christian genocide, it is disproportionate for journalists to sit and talk about the killing of Christians without also being sympathetic enough to look at the other religion.
I mentioned
we
all
as
the
government,
states
we have not. All of you people are very silent about the responsibility of government is to look at anybody in Nigeria as something that is bad and fight to stop it. We don't want to buy this idea of this Christian genocide. We are fighting insecurity, and all of our people are coming under attack every now and then.
Wind down. Nobody is saying Muslims are not killed. In fact, there are parts of Nigeria that even Muslims are killed.
You mentioned that this morning.
You said it. You asked me.
I said it. You did not.
No. I was building a case because of where we're going.
So if Christian genocide over the Muslims,
I know as a government, you will naturally shy away from issues around genocide. It's okay. There's no problem with that. But we are saying in solving the problem, if we say there are 4 causative factors, right, hypothetically, 4, no matter the percentage of those 4 causative factors or whatever we're dealing with, it would be unfair to say, because this is sensitive, let's not talk about it. You identify it and address it as a government. That's where we're going to. So that we have it, so that because we begin to blame journalists. Journalists will report.
You are repeating words.
No,
with respect.
No.
Let me tell you what all of us have agreed. Let me tell you what all of us have agreed here. We all have agreed here there is insecurity, right or wrong?
Yes.
Indeed. We all have agreed that Christians have been killed in Nigeria. But answer now. We've all agreed Christians have been killed. We agree Muslims have been killed. We agree those who have not identified as Christians or Muslims have been killed. So we have a case of insecurity and not a case of genocide.
As we wrap up, we do have a challenge of insecurity, but we also have a challenge of extremism, and that is an elephant in the room. And I wonder if that conversation is being had. And we know where the extremism is coming from.
Are you more a relieved person, people who relieve their experience than the state where I come from? You know, I mean, agree.
That is why
with the fake news that is circulating that there is a Christian genocide.
Let's wind down on the challenge of control, Mr. Bwala.
You talked about wind down. You talked about wind down. You talked about wind down. When are we winding down?
We're totally out of time. We're totally out of time. So that we're totally out of time. But the most important thing, I know you get the gist. It's important. I know you defend your government. It's fine. But identify and address everybody's concern, no matter how sensitive it is inability to.
Let's hope in the future you will address it, but you didn't do that today. You focused more on Christians. But in the future, I'm hoping you will.
That's the point. It came up.
And in fact, if you have maybe even have the objectivity of looking at it all, if you have the objectivity of looking at it all, then you don't need to call genocide. Let's focus on insecurity and how we find solution to insecurity.
Thank you very much. We've been talking with Mr. Daniel Bwala, the special advisor to the President on Policy Communication. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Before we go, one, there have been prison breaks since this government came in. Secondly, the United States is not asking for Nigeria's help militarily.
It's not asking.
You said they're asking for Nigeria's help.
I never said that. I think that your mind is not here.
You said that even the United States.
You heard me. What did I say? What did I say about
just to fact check before we close?
Kayode, you see, you have one problem.
I can't quote you copiously, but you did suggest.
Somebody has been missed.
My problem is to fight fake news. My problem is to fight fake news, and I'm fighting fake news.
Lies in the name of bringing objectivity.
I
am not that type of joke. I am not that type of anchor that will come to a TV station and keep quiet when people are peddling fake news. I will shut it down there.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Bwala.
Hold on, Bwala. You're the one you're the one denying the reality, but it's fine. It's okay.
You did say that we're out of time.
She said we're out of time. She said we're out of time.
Let's continue with our conversation.
Ọ̀nà lẹ́sìn gbọ́ yẹn o, ẹja wa lọ sòsè rẹ́fẹ̀rẹ́ndà tọmọ ní ó bá wa dá lóhùn torí àwa náà torí ẹ̀ lè mọ̀ wò pé kí ló dé tá a tún gbé Bwala wa òun náà ò sinmi agbájá wọn jẹ́ kógun omi òun náà ò jókòó ó sì ṣe interview eléyìí lánàá ni ó sì ṣe eléyìí ní tuntun ni torí ẹ̀ làwa náà ò ní gbà torí oúnjẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé wọ́n yan bọ́jẹ́ẹ̀tì fún wọn pé ẹ jáde àwọn náà ṣe ìrere kiri ni àwa náà propaganda àwọn lọ́tẹ̀ yìí àwọn gan mọ̀ wípé irin kanrin ìkún tẹ̀ fún kan àwọn èèyàn ò dákẹ́ wọ́n ràn pé wèrè láàfi wo wèrè orin Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Currency ó bá gbà mú ó ti bá gbà mú báyìí ó wèrè everybody fi ń wo wèrè lọ́wọ́ yìí ẹjẹ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ Reverend Achọmọ lọ́lọ́ náà fohùn ránṣẹ́ ó ní ẹ̀jẹ̀ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba ó ní báwo ló ṣe jẹ́ rìpírẹ́sà ẹni rìpírẹ́sà àtàkì ni pé ẹni tí ìjọba rán wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn pé ó bá wọn lè nà hàn sì fi gbogbo ẹ̀rí hàn fi orúkọ àwọn táwọn sin mass burial gan ti tó 500 and something lọ́jọ́ kan náà mass burial ti tó claim genocide mélòó lẹ fẹ́ kan pa bẹ́ẹ̀ ń ṣí ni ẹ wá ń pè ní rìpírẹ́sà ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ náà ni wípé àwọn làwọn kọ́kọ́ fojú àwọn Fúlàní gbolẹ̀ wọ́n wá rìpírẹ́sì àtáàkì padà pé kò ní yẹ yín gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó gbèwé jáde ní fìwé búra fún wọn báyìí orúkọ àwọn tó kú rèé o tán ṣe mass burial fún tẹ́ fẹ́ máa fi wọ́n ṣe politics àwọn ò ní gbà fún yín o bóun ló ṣe jẹ́ rìpírẹ́sà ẹ̀ bá ń tẹ̀sí lábẹ́rẹ́ yá gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu Reverend Achọmọ.
because all my aim, my target is for us to have peace for years. And it has reached a stage that I have to kneel down before my fellow Fulani Adros, Miyeti Allah, and beg them, because they are the one to give us peace. And that is undiluted truth. We have always given them the truth, the peace that they needed. We have given them for years, and they know. I beg them on my knees, please. You know our side, we have been supplying peace to you. But on your side, you are supplying crisis to us. Why? What is the reason? We have been crying for years. For years. Nobody listened to us. Even when the issue of Gebruk, formerly known Dogonawa, they changed the name. They came with an agenda. The Islamic movement came with an agenda. They would change the name of the original place and place their own name. Our forefathers were illiterate, were full of love, thinking that let's live together, not knowing that these people have a target for land grabbing. They have a target to invent and take over the state, to take over the Middle Belt. That is the target. Our forefathers didn't know until late 2000. These things started manifesting themselves, burning villages, striking villages. Before they come to your village, they would look for a way that they will present the matter as since is reprisal. We didn't know. They will destroy your crops. That is the beginning. We have been living together. We gave them farms, irrigation farms to do in love. We assist them in working on their farm, and they make their money. They go back to their village, to their areas in the far north. Then when it is a dry season, they will resurface and come. We welcome them. But what then? This is what happened at the end of the day. Planning. When we say stop it, they will be angry. They will say we're interfering in their right of living. And we don't know that there was a great agenda that was moving on to take over our village, because they look at us in a dialect that we are Arnas. Even you are a Christian, you are Catholic, you are Arna. And this war has been moving. We bear it, would it. Land in which, let me tell you, over 161 villages, community were displaced. In Plateau State alone.
Well,
today they cannot go back to that village. And the neighboring village that they are living on, you will see they have been living their dwelling place where our forefather gave it to them. But they will organize themselves and invite their fellow brothers from the far north to come and assist them in doing jihad on the Christian. And there are areas, there is a place even in Manga, that place, that place they were evil themselves. They turned our church building into mosques in Manga area. That is the place where they attacked our people. Senator Gideon Danton was killed at the burial ground, which the both people alive. We went for mass barriers, not knowing that they used the mass barrier to bring an attack.
Let's bring in
what reprisal is taking place in Adamawa, in Taraba. Is that reprisals? So if the federal government will approve and justify there's reprisal, then we have many ways of reprisal too. When you destroy my crops, have chemicals, we do not that we don't have it. We put it on our farm to avoid crisis. When their cows comes, they eat, they die. Don't let them not blame us. It's reprisal. See, Nigerian government approve reprisal. That is, then we accept it.
Ó dẹ̀ káàbọ̀ padà ó ká tó wá máa lọ sínú ti ká tó máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn congressmen. Ẹ jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ yà lọ́dọ̀ first spokesperson agbẹnusọ àwọn ọlọ́pàá Nàìjíríà káàfàtà nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi. Òun ló wá ganu sí Mike pé àwọn nídìí ìrànlọ́wọ́ yín ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà, gbogbo ọlọ́pàá tẹ́ bá ti rí lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí ààrẹ olódòdẹ tó jẹ́ commander in chief of the armed forces tán ti pa láṣẹ wípé káwọn withdraw gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́pàá lẹ́yìn kúrò lẹ́yìn àwọn VIPs àwọn ìlú mọ̀ká àwọn ọ̀tọ̀kùnlú ìlú pé gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́pàá ọ́físà àwọn kankan tẹ́ ẹ bá tún ti wá kófìrí tẹ́ ẹ rí ẹ ya fídíò wọn ẹ ya píkṣọ̀ wọn ẹ mú orúkọ wọn kẹ́ ẹ mójú wọn dáadáa ẹ má bá wọn fa wàhálà kẹ́ ẹ fi ránṣẹ́ sí force headquarters. wọ́n ní ló bá tán àlàyé pọ̀ ń bẹ o ẹ bá ń tẹ̀sí ilé agbẹ́rẹ́ já gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu wọn.
Why is it difficult for the Egbetokun-led police force to comply with President Tinubu's order? Withdraw all VIP protection. 11,000 only out of about 800,000 on record that are serving in that unit.
Well, I don't know the record you are making reference to. We have the record, and we are confirming to you that approximately 11,566 officers are attached to VIPs for VIP protection, and the IGP has ordered their immediate recall, and that is being done as we speak. The intention is to retrain them, because they are actually experts in VIP protection, retrain them and redraft them into police divisions, then our schools protection squad. We need to strengthen that squad, and also to join the military in their theater for some military duties, because the Constitution actually empowers the police to also carry on military duties. So I can call on Nigerians to stay away from fake news, because to be honest, we have been at the receiving end of fake news, of misinformation. So he actually called on Nigerians to please, like he knew it would happen, he called on Nigerians to please stay away from fake news. And since that time, we have seen lots and lots of old videos, old pictures surfacing online and being referenced as current realities. So just like you said, you saw on my X page, I actually had to address that to make it known that that was an old picture. In reality, as we speak, all SPU commanders, PMF commanders have been given that marching order, and they've been complying. In fact, I know some VIPs that have reached out to me, that have reached out to the IGP to say, oh, they've withdrawn my men. And yes, that is the presidential directive. So that's it. Old pictures, old videos have been recycled, and that we condemn. We urge Nigerians to stay away from that.
But people are the highest bidder.
For police officers?
Yes, to be retained.
No, see, it's the directive is absolute, and the enforcement too is absolute. It's not about IS bidder, it's not about asking for more money. The instruction is withdraw men from VIP protection, and that we have done.
So there are accusations that it is also selective. Now you're retaining you're withdrawing for civilians and private citizens, but some government officials still have their protection with them. But these are still classified as VIP protection. The VIP protection, by the way, we understand they are under the SPU. That's the Special Protection Unit, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
So, and there are those Nigerians who will be asking the question, how many men do you have in the SPU? How many officers are there before this order? How many of them have rejoined? If you can give us those statistics and clarity.
Okay, you said that the officers attached to government officials, that government officials are also classified as VIP. Whose classification? So that brings me to answering your question. Yes, we have withdrawn men from VIPs, but I want you to know that there are certain government functionaries, government officials that are statutorily entitled to police protection.
Who are these people?
I will not go into a list or details. You're free to get this information. It's open source information. The FOI Act is there. You can take advantage of it. But for example, the governors are entitled. For example, judges are entitled to police protection.
Are ministers entitled?
I will not go into a list. I'm just giving you two examples. So what we have decided to do is that pending further directives from the presidency, clearer further directives, those who are statutorily entitled to police protection would still have their police protection. But for now, every other person that is not a government functionary, that the law does not say is entitled, the men have been withdrawn.
So,
ó náà lẹ́gbọ́n yẹn wọ́n fẹ́ fi confuse wa ní tán bá fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ gidi tán fi líìsì síta àwọn ọmọ nàìjíríà ṣiṣẹ́ wọn bí iṣẹ́ lẹ́yìn ìgbà náà tán sọ bóyá mínísítà sì lè ní bóyá jọ́ọ̀jì sì lè ní bóyá àwọn ọba sì lè ní nígbà tẹ́ bá ní VIP gbogbo náà la mọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí VIP. ó náà lẹ ti gbọ́ yẹn o wọ́n ní àwọn skul náà fẹ́ kó wọn lọ gbogbo àwọn táwọn withdraw yẹn skul náà fẹ́ kó wọn lọ ṣùgbọ́n àlàyé tó wà ńbẹ̀ náà tí ò yé àwọn èèyàn tán tí ò sì yé mi náà yèké ni wípé wọ́n bá ti sọ kàtígórì àwọn VIPs wọ́n fẹ́ fi kíní wọ́n fẹ́ fi rú wa lójú wọ́n bá ti sọ kàtígórì àwọn VIPs lélẹ̀ àwọn ọba VIP ni wọ́n a sì ń rá àwọn ọlọ́pàá lẹ́yìn àwọn ọba. kí ló mú ọlọ́pàá gan kí ló mú ọba mọ̀ dira sọlọ́ ọba nídìí ọlọ́pàá ni ẹgbọ́ ọba lẹ Yorùbá àrífín ni o kọlọ́pàá mọ̀ gáìdì ọba lẹ Yorùbá odidi ọba kí wàá ní sí àwọn alálẹ̀ ibà àwọn alálẹ̀ ní gáìdì àwọn ọba wa ẹ̀yin ọba wa ẹ tètè ṣe àtúnṣe o ẹ lé àwọn ọlọ́pàá ẹ̀yìn ẹ lé wọn wọlé o wọ́n dà wọn Nàìjíríà líìdì wọ́n nídìí wọn pọ́n bá sì dáàbò bòlù náà wọ́n dáàbò bẹ̀yìn náà wọ́n dáàbò bo àfihàn ẹ jẹ́ kí àwọn alálẹ̀ ò sọ yín mọ́ fọlọ́pàá sí olùsọ yín mọ́ Olúwa ni olùsọ àgùntàn mi ní tí Bíbélì ti wá sọnù ṣùgbọ́n pásítọ̀ wa kan ti ní àdìrà o mọ̀ ṣera rẹ o ó dá gbogbo ọ̀nà tó bá mọ̀ náà ni àwọn òní kọ́ bó ṣe dira ọ̀nà tó bá mọ̀ bó somi sáàmù náà ló lè fi dira bó ṣe wẹ odò bó sì ṣe gbogbo tó bá mọ̀ ni kò fi dira ẹjá wá lọ sọ́dọ̀ former DSS director tán náà ganu sí máa pé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí máa lẹ́yìn yóò léwu díẹ̀ o pẹ̀lú civil defence ten taari sí àwọn VIP olówó ọlọ́lá pé kàn civil defence rè mọ́ ọkọ wọn pé ṣé civil defence lè yìnbọn bí ọlọ́pàá sì lè yìn mo ní àwọn civil defence tí ń gbébọn wà tí ń gbé ìbọn wọ́n ní wọ́n mọ̀ lójú civil defence tí ń gbébọn wọ́n ní gbogbo wọn mọ̀ kọ́ ní gbébọn wọ́n láwọn special task force ni máa ń gbébọn o tán máa ń lọ sọ kí ló kọ rẹ̀ tán máa ń lọ sọ pipeline wọ́n náà nìkan náà ń gbébọn o wọ́n ní gbogbo wọn kọ́ ló ń gbébọn mo ní mo rò pé gbogbo civil defence ló ń gbébọn ni wọ́n ní rárá o ó dáa ẹ bá ń tẹ̀sí ẹja gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu wọn.
Well, you see, among the directives given by the president is the recruitment and training of over 20,000 policemen, soldiers, directing the SSS to deploy forest guards. But the most important of that of the directives, to me, as an analyst, is the withdrawal of policemen.
But they said 11,000. That's what the police is saying.
Well, the police. I watched the first PRO when they issued a statement that 11,000 policemen have been withdrawn. That is contrary to claims, even by the former chairman of the Police Service Commission, Okiro, who claimed that we have over 120,000 policemen deployed to VIPs. And recent EU report also said we have over 100,000. So how did you come to 11,000? We have not started. As we speak, policemen are still walking around with people who have no means of livelihood. And the IG says people should be arrested. How are you going to arrest a man, an armed policeman? How are you going to arrest him? Are you setting up a squad to go and start looking after them? Or you raise alarm when you see? All right. So it's a difficult situation.
báyìí náà ń gbọ́ àṣírí tí DSS ọ̀gá DSS tẹ́lẹ̀ sí ọ̀gá DSS ní onímọ̀ye wọ́n tún kóòtù ibi tí nọ́mbà yẹn ti wá pé over 120,000 ní ẹni tó jẹ́ police commission wọn tó head ẹ̀ tó sọ lọ́jọ́ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ní EU náà ní over 100,000 àwọn ọlọ́pàá wá sọ fún wa pé 11,000 ó tún fẹ́ mọ̀ bá ṣe ń jiyàn ń bẹ̀rùn ní PRO àṣẹ nǹkan Nàìjíríà wọ́n lè nà tán fún yín o bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń retí ààrẹ odidi ààrẹ ló pàṣẹ o wọ́n tún wá ń ṣe báyìí wọ́n ń yí ààrẹ náà ń yí ó dá o wọ́n lè ṣe without àwọn VIP nù bàbá yìí tún wá sọ̀rọ̀ kan síwájú lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tó ṣe resign tán lé lọ jàre Minister of Defence ó ló sọ̀rọ̀ kan tí ò yẹ kó fi wà ń pò yẹn mo yẹ kó ti resign tipẹ́ ẹ bá ń tẹ̀ sí ẹja gbọ́ lẹ́nu wa ní pẹ́.
If you look at in a sane country, in a civilized society, he ought to have resigned since. Last week or so, 2 weeks ago, he made a statement that the Air Force cannot bomb the forest because the bomb cannot penetrate into the forest. I mean, does it make any sense? He doesn't have the security background. And for him to be Minister of Defense, we politicize everything in this country. So I don't think what we should be doing is how do we move forward. Then now comes the appointment of CG Musa, the former CDS. I was one of the people who was shocked when he was removed as the CDS. And I don't know whether it's coincidence. Since he left, there was escalation, a upsurge of attacks.
ẹ rí wípé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá mú òótọ́ ẹ̀ ní rìn jìnnà tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́rọ̀ òótọ́ lẹ́nu èèyàn ẹ ti mọ̀ pé olóòótọ́ lẹ́ni ọ̀gá DSS tẹ́lẹ̀ rèé o táwọn kan ń parọ́ pé ńgbà tí wàhálà yìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó tún ti lékè nkàtí tó escalate pé torí ọ̀rọ̀ tí Trump sọ ni ẹ wá àwọn tó wà nídìí intelligence gan ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí wípé àtìgbà tí Musa tán ti sáàkì ẹ̀ ní wàhálà yìí tún ti ran tó a sì fi fọ́nrán ibi tí Musa ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá wípé ẹ̀yin ọmọ ológun tẹ́ wà lábẹ́ ẹ̀hún tẹ́ wà ní tíátà tó ń wà tíátà ogun tán dojúkọ Boko Haram pé ẹni tí ò bá tí ó kéré jù bó ò bá pa Boko Haram kan lélẹ̀ ìtàn gbé ọ wá sí tíátà yìí mọ́kàrà rẹ̀ sí ọmọ iléeṣẹ́ ológun wọ́n ròyìn tí Ọ̀gbẹ́ni yẹn ń fojú wọn rí ó kàn yẹ pé ọ̀rọ̀ tó náà wàá sọ lọ́jọ́ sí tó ní kánrè mọ́ ògiri yíká gbogbo ẹnubodè Nàìjíríà òun làwọn èèyàn fi ń wò pé sọ́gà ìsì sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa báyìí ó rẹ̀ jẹ́ àtẹ̀ iwájú àròjọ mùsùlùkùn ó rẹ̀ káàbọ̀ pa rẹ̀ já sáré délé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin níbi tá a ti gbọ́ tí kan náà àwọn sẹ́nítọ̀ a sì tún rí níbi tó ti ń bá Akpabio wí pé ṣé ọjà ló pe bí ní àbí pati táriwo wá pọ̀ tó yìí nílé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin ẹ̀ tí ẹ̀ respect àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó yàn sípò kíní yẹn sì bá Akpabio jẹ́ gbogbo nǹkan ni wọ́n fẹ́ fi dọ̀wẹ́kẹ̀ is a parliamentary home òyìnbó yìí náà ni parliamentary business ló yẹ ká ẹ ṣe ń bẹ̀ kí ló dé tẹ́ ń fáwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà pawọ́ ẹ̀dẹ́ báyìí ẹ bá ń tẹ̀sí ilẹ̀ ẹgbẹ̀rẹ̀ jáwọ́ bàbá yẹn ṣe pariwo mọ́ Akpabio.
Mr. President, point of order. Point of order.
ṣé ẹ rí ibi tí bàbá yẹn ti ń pariwo point of order wọ́n ń ṣe parliamentary issue lọ́wọ́ o ẹ wo bí gbogbo wọn ṣe ń ṣe bí ẹni tó wà lọ́jà.
Order 55, 12A, interruption not allowed. Interruption not allowed except to move that the business of the day be called on. What I'm trying to say, Mr. President, is that what is happening now is unparliamentary. What you are doing here is unparliamentary. You should have done this thing outside. There should always be a meeting outside. When we come to Parliament, we do parliamentary business. And I believe what we are doing here, everything is at standstill now. We are not doing parliamentary business.
Your point of order is noted.
What?
Your point of order is noted.
Not sustained. No, then they should leave. They should leave here and then we move on. I'm calling on us to move on. Based on this order. Or go inside and talk. Or we go on recess.
Can I answer? Can I answer? Everybody that you see here was invited by the chair. So for a brief discussion in continuation of today's sitting and in line with the order you've just read, whether or not we should proceed in view of a very urgent assignment at the villa by 1 o'clock. And please approach the chair so I can also, you can be part of it.
I don't want to be part of it. I'm opposed to this one. I will not come. It's unparliamentary. It's unparliamentary. It's wrong. It's wrong. So I will not approach the chair.
sẹ́yìn náà ti rí i wípé ojú ti gbáà ni ó fẹ́ yí bàbá yẹn ní irọ́ ni òun ò ní join yín tẹ́ ń sọ ọ̀tọ̀ ni ó wà unparliamentary tí bàbá yẹn sọ nìyẹn ẹ wọ ẹ tí ì ní àwọn olórí o. ó dá ẹ káàbọ̀ padà ẹ já wá dọ́dọ̀ arákùnrin kan tó pẹ́ra ẹ̀ ń wà sí rí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ state police òun ló já mọ̀ wípé apààyàn làwọn gómìnà yín o tí agbára bá kún agbára wọn pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ state police wípé wọ́n máa rán àwọn ọlọ́pàá yẹn wọ́n máa rán wọn wọnú lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn opposition tán máa pa wọn yẹn mo ní mélòó náà ti pa ń ṣíjú rẹ̀ ẹ bá ń tẹ̀sí ilẹ̀ abẹ́rẹ́jà gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́mẹ̀ òun ló fẹ́nu ara rẹ̀ sọ.
By the time we establish a state police in this country, that will be the beginning and the end of Nigerian democracy. As we are going now, our democracy is at danger. It's at very risk. The risk is about 70-80% of being collapsed. When we bring in state police now, the next thing is this man is an opposition. Go and take him in his house. That one will come. Because these criminal governors, I call them criminals already in his station because I know what they're doing. These people can send somebody to your house to go and kill you. Because we know many people that were killed. A lot of people that were killed by the government, state. We know that.
So do you think there will be an extension of abuse of power?
Of course, abuse of power, serious one. They will eliminate a lot of people, innocent people, just because they oppose them.
ó dá o ká tó wá lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn congressmen òun láàfin káde torí ìròyìn eléyìí dùn mẹ́mí gan tán yarí pátápátá ẹja kọ́kọ́ dé ọ̀dọ̀ SDP presidential candidate Adébáyọ̀ níbi tó ti ganu sí máìkì wípé àní ẹ mọ́ fojú negotiation wo kíní mọ́ wípé àwọn ọ̀daràn náà méjèèjì àtàwọn gómìnà tó negotiate àtàwọn Tinubu pé kò sí negotiation kankan pẹ̀lú terrorist Nàìjíríà ohun tẹ́ rí yẹn negotiation kan ni wọ́n ń pè é terrorist inú igbó àti terrorist inú ọ́fíìsì ni wọ́n jọ ń pín owó àdéhùn ní official terrorist ìyẹn àwọn gómìnà yín àtàwọn bush terrorist mo ní láìsí ẹran àgbẹ̀ Adébáyọ̀ ló ń fẹ́ lecture wa ó ní ká má jẹ́ kán gbé wa mọ́ra o ẹ bá ń tẹ̀sí ká gbọ́ lecture ẹ bá bá paradì ká wá tẹ́ pẹ́pẹ́ ètò lórí bí ọ̀rọ̀ Congress bó ṣe lọ ní USA.
There is no negotiation with terrorists. What you have are official terrorists and bush terrorists having the conversation. So what you call negotiation is the discussion about sharing formula between the official terrorists who bring the money and the unofficial terrorists in whose name they are collecting the money. It's a racket. They are running a racket in front of you. There's a lot of money in government and insecurity is one way to collect it without receipts. That's what they are doing. They're just scamming the Nigerians. There is no insecurity in the land that Nigerian armed forces and Nigerian police cannot get rid of under a good presidential system, under a good presidency. They will get rid of it. What they are doing is just scamming you. Just that they are constructing roads to nowhere. They are building bridges that will never finish. There are a lot of projects in the sky. They found out that all other projects, you ask them, where's the road? Where's the bridge? Where's the school? But if they inundate you with insecurity, you cannot, and they say they rescue 500 children, and the 500 billion is gone. You cannot ask for receipts. If they are in the bushes, exchanging food and drinks with terrorists, and tell you that they have spent 4 trillion to keep you secure, you know you can't ask questions. That's why the president will tell you, every president will tell you, I will finish them. But when he comes in, they finish him with money. And he feels, okay, this is an easy way to raise money for campaign. That is why Nigeria has, in the world of hotel business, Nigeria has the highest number of military generals owning hotels, estates, and everything, on a salary of how much?
Ó dá ẹ̀ka àbọ̀ padà òun náà lẹ́tí gbọ́ yẹn já wá mú ẹnu lé ọ̀rọ̀ Congress bó ṣe lọ àwọn ti Nàìjíríà náà House of Rep ti Nàìjíríà àwọn náà ń gbé ìgbésẹ̀ lórí rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ insecurity Nàìjíríà àwọn kan sì ń ṣàríyànjiyàn Christian genocide no Christian genocide ẹgbọ́ ti USA tí ì ṣe ọmọ Nàìjíríà gan wọ́n ti move on lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n wá ń ṣe àtẹnumọ́ rẹ̀ wípé wọ́n sì ń pààyàn Nàìjíríà àní kan yọwọ́ kílà ń kó Sharia lọ ṣùgbọ́n ká tó lọ sọ́dọ̀ wọn ẹ̀ka náà tó ṣe àtótónu wàlẹ̀ ẹjẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ dé ọ̀dọ̀ kan náà àwọn Rep Randy Fine níbi tó ti sọ pé the ongoing slaughter of innocent Christians by Muslim terrorists kò sọ pé Muslim o Muslim kí ló pé terrorists torí ṣé wọ́n yìí ṣe Muslim terrorists ni they are Muslim terrorists ẹ mọ̀jà fi gbá kan bọ̀ kan nú àní pàjá lọ́wọ́ fúnra wa ànífi kan pé kan Muslim terrorist ni n tó mú àwọn àfáà yín mọ́ sọ pé olóore yín làwọn Boko Haram n tó mú wọn mọ́ gbèsè wọn lẹ́yìn tí ó di Minister of Defence of State ń gbèsè wọn lẹ́yìn tí ó di Sultan of Sokoto wá mú ọjọ́ lecture tó ní inú òun dùn pé kámẹ́rà wà ń bẹ̀ tó ń ṣe lecture ń pa Boko Haram fún wa pé wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ò kàwé tó fẹ́ mọ̀ convince ọmọ Nàìjíríà kẹ́ ẹ ti mọ̀ wípé they are Muslim terrorists. Ó lọ sí ń pa àwọn èèyàn wọ́n ń jẹ́ àwọn èèyàn gbé ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ó ní the Nigerian government is silent pẹ̀lú etí dídí mo ní ibi ẹ ti ń bá Nàìjíríà fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ kí ló tẹ̀yìn náà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ advance sí Nàìjíríà báyìí wọ́n láwọn eléyìí tí láwọn ò ní gbà rárá mo ní Nàìjíríà ti wọ̀ nígbà ó sì jẹ́ pé gbogbo àwọn tí ń bá ààrẹ ṣiṣẹ́ náà àwọn náà sì ń jáde wá sọ̀rọ̀ àlùfànṣá ẹ wá expect kan congressman dákẹ́ fún yín àní bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lẹ́ẹ̀ mọ propaganda lò àwọn ọ̀gá yín nínú propaganda match to match ni bí ní bá kanrin ìkún ó tẹ̀ fún kan ni ó ní I signed onto Congress Chris Smith resolution calling on Congress to codify President Trump's executive order which labeled Nigeria as a particular country of concern over the massacre of Christians. Only the complicit in the genocide of the thousands of Christians must stop and we must take action to fully condemn it now. Kí wá ní action tí wọ́n fẹ́ take to fully condemn it? Wọ́n ní tẹ́ ẹ bá ń gbọ́ kò gbọ́ nǹkan kan mi ò gbọ́ pa wọ́n ní àwọn congressmen USA ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà o wọ́n láwọn eléyìí ò ṣetán láti gbọ́ nǹkan kan o ń ló wá dífá fún àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà kan náà tí ó jẹ́ wípé àwọn gan-an ń líìdì kọ́ọ̀sì ní Amẹ́ríkà a sọ fún yín a ní wọ́n fẹ́ ṣèwọ́de wọ́n ṣe ní fẹ́rẹ́ jógí wọ́n ní Capitol náà ti ṣe wọ́n ní Washington DC ló wà a sì fi hàn yín nínú Abala Lerefe àbí ká tún tu ẹ̀mọ́jà àtúnwò mọ́ wọ́n ní Christians and moderate Muslims are facing persecution and genocide in Nigeria due to blaspheming laws. Sharia law must be banned. Wọ́n gbóhùn sókè wọ́n láwọn ò ní sẹ́nu kù sọ. Wọ́n ní Sharia law must be banned in Nigeria. Ilé náà ní ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin House of Rep ti Nigeria náà wọ́n ní àwọn náà ti ń ṣe tiwọn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí àmọ́ gbọ́ àbájáde tiwọn náà. Ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin Amẹ́ríkà fìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ síwájú sí pé ìpànìyàn àti ìran kan ẹ̀sìn ń tẹ̀síwájú Nàìjíríà o pé wọ́n tún jiyàn gbé sí ni o pé kàkà kóró lára ìwé àgbọn wọn líle ló ń lé sí wọ́n ní àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì ọmọ Nàìjíríà náà kóra wọn jọ àti fi wọ́n hàn yìí nínú abala ti Lerefe wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ̀sùn kan ìjọba pé kò dáàbò bo Kìrìsìtẹ́nì àti pé Kìrìsìtẹ́nì ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ láti ṣe ìrere láwọn ìlú kan nílẹ̀ Haúsá pé wọn ò kì í fẹ́ gba Kìrìsìtẹ́nì sáwọn póòstì àwọn ibi iṣẹ́ kan nínú ìjọba àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Haúsá pé wọn ò kì í fẹ́ ta ilẹ̀ fún wọn tó bá fẹ́ kọ́ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì wípé wọ́n máa fojú àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì gbolẹ̀ nítorí pé wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi wọ́n ní abálájọ tí ó fi ká wọn lára wọ́n ní bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rẹ̀ tó ń ṣe ìrere gan ní jọ́ọ̀sì láwọn ibì kan ní ilẹ̀ Haúsá Zamfara wọ́n ní wọ́n lè lẹ̀ lóko pa mo ní ṣe bá rántí ìkan ọmọ rìdíìmù arábìnrin tán lẹ̀ ló kópa torí pé ó ṣe ìrere wọ́n ní wọn ní gbà ó ṣe ìrere kẹ̀ abó ti ṣe ìrere ni. mo wá ń sọ báyìí àyà wá ń sọ fún mi wípé kí ni ìlágbára ọ̀gá mi ó yẹ kán mójútó ọ̀rọ̀ ìdáadáa mo ní ṣèwọ náà ti wá rí ó ní ẹ wá wò wọ́n lọ́jọ́ Friday ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ olóyin ní Agége mo lágége gan kéré gbogbo mọ́sálì gbogbo mo ní gbogbo ibi tán wọ̀ sí ní tán pè ní sáàbò rèéwò bẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ Jímọ̀ tágége yẹn wọ́n máa close títì ní ojú títì náà máa wà káwọn ará Èkó náà wá máa lẹ̀ wọ́n lóko tàbí káwọn Yorùbá náà máa lẹ̀ wọ́n lóko àwa fààyè gbà yín ẹ wà á rí nínú àwọn kìrìsìtẹ́nì tó fẹ́ ṣèyìn rere wọ́n sì di títì pa wọ́n rìn yín lọ lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì náà ń kéde yìn rere ẹ wà á mọ̀ ní òfin tó wà lọ́dọ̀ yín o òfin Sharia ní o ẹ̀ẹ̀kan náà respect ẹ̀sìn yín o sẹ́yìn respect ẹ̀sìn wọn lẹ́sẹ̀ ń jùkọ̀ lù wọ́n ẹ respect ẹ̀sìn wọn nù wọ́n bá ní wọ́n respect ẹ̀sìn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá láti respect ẹ̀sìn jù lára respect ara wa ẹ sì gbìyànjú ẹ̀ náà títí títí ẹ fẹ́ gbé Sharia wọlé Yorùbá àṣé Ọlọ́run tí ó fìyà jẹ yín múríkì ò lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ òfin burúkú tó fi pa Deborah wọ́n fi dáná sun tọ́ ọmọkùnrin yẹn tún yóò lòun lòun musa náà òun lòun dáná sí ó fi sàná hàn wá lójú kámẹ́rà àwọn ọmọ àlè ẹ wá ń gbófin blasphemy lẹ̀ ara ti tù yín àwọn Hisba yín ń kọ́ná ebe lọ́lọ́pàá Hisba àwọn ọlọ́tí náà wọ́n mú kiri wọ́n gé èèyàn lọ́wọ́ kiri tí wọ́n ní àwọn tó change kúrò ní ẹ̀sìn Islam sí Kristẹni náà wọ́n mú kiri wọ́n mú bandits rí ẹ wá kóra ìjọpọ̀ ẹlẹ́yìn ṣe ìpàdé ọ̀ràn ẹ fẹ́ máa dáwọ́ 1 billion lóṣooṣù ọkùnrin ti sọ fún àwọn náà máa kó jẹ ni ṣé tí ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ gan bá dé ilẹ̀ Haúsá só lè ṣèṣore sá ẹ̀yin jihadis burúkú yìí USA ní àfi kí wọ́n pa òfin burúkú yìí rẹ́ o pàápàá jùlọ òfin blasphemy wọ́n blasphemy yín kí ni ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ́ ìgbọ́ àfàtò láṣìírí àwọn ti tú lánàá pé gbogbo àṣírí ìmọ̀ọ́mọ̀ tán kó sínú àdìtì ó sì sọ ó ní èyí tó bá dánú àdìtì yẹn làwọn ò mú èyí tí ò bá dá àwọn ò ní mú bẹ́ẹ̀ bá mọ̀ pé àdìtì ò dá ṣe kúkú kọ̀ndẹ́ẹ̀mù gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ́ wá mú kan tẹ́ ń yọ̀ kan ó fẹnu ara rẹ̀ sọ. USA ní àfi kí wọ́n pa òfin burúkú yìí rẹ́ òbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ bí ìgbà tí ẹ ti gbé àwọn jihadis lé àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà yòókù lórí ni a sì ti rí àwọn fọ́nrán kan níbi tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn oníjihadis náà ná aṣọ ara tán ti sọ wípé àwọn ò ní sinmi àwọn ò ní wo àfìgbà tí jihadis bá kárí Nàìjíríà ebi kan náà àwọn máa lé wọn náà sọ̀rọ̀ tó lọ́mọ Ọ̀yọ́ lóhun tó yìí fight lion tó wá ìlà bí ìlà tápà báyìí mi ò ọmọ àlè ni kì í sọ ọmọ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó lóhun ò ní sinmi ó ní 58% làwọn jihadis wá gbogbo yín ẹ̀yin alálàáfíà ẹ jẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ síta USA mọ̀ tí ń gbèjà yín náà wọ́n náà ń pa àwọn liberal muslim náà àbáwọn wo ni liberal muslim ebe yẹn alálàáfíà náà ń bá wí ẹ̀yin moderate muslim language náà ti ẹ̀ lò nìyẹn moderate muslims ebe yẹn náà ń pa ẹ̀yin náà ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ sókè ṣé ẹ rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti rí àwọn tí ò sọ̀rọ̀ sókè kẹ́ ẹ ti mọ̀ wípé wọ́n kí wọn lẹ́yìn ni kẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí ẹni muslim tí ò sọ̀rọ̀ agbóyin tó sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀nà méjì lọ̀rọ̀ lè pín sí nínú kó o gbèsè àwọn jihadis lẹ́yìn tàbí kó o ní alálàáfíà ní ọkọ̀ mọ́ kọ̀ndẹ́mù àwọn jihadis ṣùgbọ́n sẹ́yìn ráwọn tí ò sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn tán máa ń wòran wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn lákàtà wọn ní sọ nǹkan kan wọ́n fi ẹ̀sìn mùsùlùmí pààyàn wọn ní sọ nǹkan kan ó dùn mọ́ wọn lọ́kàn o. in fact àwọn kan tá à ń fojú wò nílẹ̀ Yorùbá pé àwọn oníjàgíjàgan làwọn àáfàá ìgan tẹ́lẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìsọ̀rọ̀ sí wọn tán máa ń bá àwọn oní olórúkọ wọn tán máa ń pera wọn tán máa ń ní àwọn onísúfí tán máa ń bá àwọn tí máa ń ṣe ògùn wí láàrin ara wọn nǹkan tó wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ lòdì sí Gumi àtàwọn ìran terrorist náà tá a rò pọ́n gan-an lóní Sharia àwọn náà ti wá rí ẹ̀rí àrídájú sẹ́rí tí ọ̀rọ̀ yóò bá ní ìyanjú kí àwọn Yorùbá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí àwọn mùsùlùmí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àwọn nìkan léwájú nù jà yìí kan gbára wọn lẹ̀ ẹ̀sìn kan náà kọ́ ni mùsùlùmí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti mùsùlùmí Haúsá jọ ń ṣe o mùsùlùmí Fúlàní mú jihadis mọ́ o gbogbo àwọn àdìsí tẹ́yìn ògbàgbọ́ nú ẹ̀ gbàgbọ́ nú rẹ o bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wá ń gbèsè hàn lẹ́yìn tẹ́yìn náà ń ṣe wáàsí ìsọnù wáàsí ọ̀ràn ẹni tí ń bọ̀ wá mú ń bọ̀ wọlé ń bọ̀ lọ́la ó ń bọ̀. Mo rí tí ajá olúwo náà ti ń yí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ padà, àwọn òye ti kìrìsìtẹ́nì, àwọn òṣè kínní kan, mo ní náà mú ọ wò ó tí ẹ bọ̀. Gbogbo yín lásà báyìí àti mojú yín ẹ̀yin ọmọ àlè tẹ́ ń fẹ̀sìn bojú àti mọ̀ yín. Ó sì ṣe àwọn Haúsá náà ti ń pariwo síta báyìí, wọ́n ti láwọn ò gbàbọ̀dè mọ́ tí ò bá tí ì léètì jù fún ẹ wórú bàbá tá a gbé wá lánàá tó ní bóníkálùkù ó bá lọ kán jẹ́ kóníkálùkù lọ. Ìwọ tó fẹ́ máa yọ̀ tó fẹ́ máa fà bí ìgbín nínú development region ìwọ àti region rẹ ẹ máa kópa. Àwọn tó fẹ́ move at the speed of aircraft, speed of jet, àwọn ẹ lè move, àwọn ẹ lè ń fààyàn sẹ́yìn ni. Ẹ mọ̀ wòrà yín ràn lẹ̀ Yorùbá ò bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti kófìrí gbogbo mọ́ ṣe ń kó wọn wọlé. Ẹ mọ̀ ṣe fídíò nìkan, èmi ò ní sọ tẹ́ẹ̀sì fún yín o. Ní rí báyìí lọ́nà ìròyìn tó ní Congress USA sáti sọ wípé bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ̀ ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ́ ṣòfin fáwọn, ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ́ kọ́ àwọn báwọn ó ṣe ṣe. N tó máa pè yín ni wípé kẹ́yìn náà ṣe òfin gidi tí ó ràn àwọn lọ́wọ́. Wọ́n ń bá àwọn ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin Nàìjíríà náà ń bá wí pé ẹ̀ lè dá wọn lọ́wọ́ kọ́ o, ilé ìtàwọn ti mẹ́nu lé yìí o, pé wèrè làwọn fi wo wèrè yín, àwọn ò ní gbà kẹ́ pa Kristẹni mọ́. Yóò sì jẹ́ àtòrí ààrẹ Tinubu ń kọ̀ǹkọ̀, mo rí wípé wọ́n ń fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ dáadáa. A rí yàtọ̀ bóyá tí ẹni tó fẹ́ fi ṣe mínísítà fún dífẹ́ǹsì ní ìsìn tó bá ti débẹ̀ a rí yàtọ̀. Yóò yá kò ní yẹ ẹlẹ́wọ̀n bá pín bọ́wá dénú yín, ẹ bá fi sọwọ́ sí àwọn olólùfẹ́ yín. Á pàdé lọ́la kọ́mẹ́ǹtì yín ó ti ń ju 5 lines lọ o, ẹ mọ̀ jù 5 lines lọ, ẹ sì mọ́ bá kọ́ tààràtààrà kó yé kébù. Ire tójú owó ń rí láàrin òrè kàbìtì. Goodbye and I love you. Àyá ó dà fún ẹni tó bá ráàyè lókù báyìí o. Mọ́ mi Táíwò dà mọ́ mi mo dúpẹ́ wọ́n ti náà ráàyè ń táwọn Ọlọ́run ó wáyè fún wa níbi tó dáa. A ní jákulẹ̀ a sì ní dànù bí omi ìsanwó fún àwa tá a ní dátà tá a ráàyè dáadáa. Abalẹ̀ ń bá ráàyè àyájọ́ kí ló ní fún wa lónìí.
No single parastatal can do it. We need the support of everyone, every Nigerian and everyone living in Nigeria, working together as a team, because it's going to be a teamwork.
Kódà ká tiẹ̀ tó wá lọ sínú ìròyìn níbi tó ti kọ̀ǹfàmù General Musa. Wọ́n ní gbogbo òyìnbó tán ti gbọ́ lẹ́nu rẹ̀ rí nígbà tó wà ní CDS. Wọ́n lòun náà ló sì tún padà wá sọ wípé we need to work in teamwork, wọ́n ní gbogbo wọn náà ni mọ́ sọ wọ́n ní action náà ọmọ Nàìjíríà ń béèrè nígbà tí yóò wá di wípé wọ́n ti béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ tán tó ti sọ tẹnu rẹ̀ tán wá ní ó dáa o kí wá ló kù ṣé kán máa jẹ́ ó máa lọ o. Ẹ mọ bọ́n ṣe máa sọ wípé take a bow and go. Wọ́n ní náà bá ní take a bow and go o. Wọ́n ní làwọn ọmọlẹ́gbẹ̀mọ aṣòfin bá yarí ó mọ̀ fẹ́ díjà ẹ jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ fún yín jẹ́nu ẹ̀ ká fún yín díẹ̀ ká fún yín jẹ́ ń bẹ̀ náà kẹ́ ẹ tó wá gbọ́ ìgbésẹ̀ tí ìjọba ìyẹn Congress Amẹ́ríkà gbé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ agbésùnmọ̀ àwọn persecutor Christian persecutors and genociders ní Nàìjíríà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn House of Rep Nàìjíríà náà ti gbé ìgbésẹ̀ báyìí o. Ẹ tún gbọ́bi tí Akpabio tó ti sọ wípé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ kí USA kán ga àwọn lọ́rùn mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀yin ọmọlẹ́gbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ẹ jẹ́ káwọn náà ṣe déédéé. USA ń wo àwọn ìmúlẹ̀ ẹsẹ̀ ẹ̀mọ̀pọ̀ ń wò yín ni gbogbo mọ́ ṣe wá fẹ́ gàn án lọ́rùn. Ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ Akpabio àgbọ̀ lónìí ẹ kọ́kọ́ bá ń tẹ̀sí ẹjẹ́ àwò bọ́n ṣe ń pariwo léra wọn lórí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin lórí ọ̀rọ̀ take a bow or no take a bow.
This is a chief of defense staff that had been in the system. He knew everything, and we are talking about security, and he's going to man a ministry that will be handling security matters for this country. Very sensitive. So I believe that we have had close sessions with him separately, and some of the questions that will be asked here and the responses may not be well dispensed at this moment. So I feel we should just allow this gentleman to take a bow. This is it. There is nothing new here. There is nothing new here. We have asked him all these questions before at closed session. Do you want to ask here? Mr. President is rude. Most of the questions are security questions. Most of the questions are security questions. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please.
ọmọ kéékèèké ọmọ primary school gan wọ́n wà ọ̀dálì lórí ìlàjù yín lọ tẹ̀ ń pariwo láì sọ ọmọ kékeré. ṣùgbọ́n ẹja wá gbọ́ lẹ́nu Akpabio nítorí náà tó fi dán an lóhùn wípé Donald Trump is on our neck wípé àwọn ò ní tèkì kó kàn take a bow and go, àwọn fẹ́ bí ní béèrè.
I would love to ask him questions at a time like this. So if we come here and we do politics of bow and go, this is not a period we should say bow and go. Even Donald Trump is on our neck. We have not yet asked him what his response will be to Donald Trump, the President of America. He's not just anybody. Chief of Defense Staff, a nominee for Minister of Defense of a country, and you stand up and say you should take a bow and go, with so many questions on the mouth of Nigerians, with over 200 Nigerian children in the bush, kidnapped and being tortured. His appointment is heralded all over Nigeria with happiness, because Nigerians believe he has something to offer. Give the man an opportunity to give Nigerians hope.
Túbọ̀ àwọn èèyàn sọ wọ́n ní Akpabio kàn fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ní jàre, ó lú gbogbo ẹ̀pọ̀ mọ́ra wọn ni pé ó lọ pè ní CDS bó ti gbàgbé wípé ó ti fòye lẹ̀ ó yá sáré correct ara ẹ̀ wípé òun ló ń padà bọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Minister of Defence mọ́lẹ̀ àwọn ahọ́nmọ́gbé èèyàn gbà mí ó ti correct ara ẹ̀. ṣùgbọ́n ẹjẹ́ wá gbọ́n tí ẹni tí wọ́n jà lé lórí náà sọ pàápàá jùlọ ó mẹ́nu bà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wípé kàn fi ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe àpẹẹrẹ àpèjúwe àwòkọ́ṣe àlàáfíà tàn wá ọgbọ́n nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ mọ̀ wòrà yín ràn o ẹ má jẹ́ kó rí yín wújú o.
Why the Southwest seem to be doing very well, sir, is because all the governors agreed together, and that's why regionally governors must come together, because 2, 3 are better than 1, and that's why for us to them to understand that the bandits do not respect border. They do not at all. In fact, where they get their strength is the ability to run when you attack them, especially around Sokoto area. They enter Niger, and once they get to Niger, you can't touch them until they come back in. And that's why I said it's important that for the multinational joint task force in N'Djamena, we need to also build up their capacity to hold up down towards the border with Mali and Burkina Faso, because we're beginning to have those, and that's why we're having those incursions into Kwara coming down southwest, and we must stop them not to get further than that. I think action has already been done and put in place. It is for us to harmonize all this, firstly to ensure that all the MDS know they have a role to play.
ó dáhùn náà lẹ ti gbọ́ yẹn àṣẹ̀yìnwá àṣẹ̀yìnbọ̀ wọ́n kọ̀ǹkọ̀ pẹ̀lú rẹ̀ wọ́n sì approve ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Minister for Defence gangan ọ̀gá Mẹ́tawálé níbẹ̀. ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ àwa kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ńlé torí wọ́n ní ilé láti kẹsàn-án ròde ẹjẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ńlé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin House of Rep torí asòfin lánàá wípé àwa la ṣèlérí àlọ́lẹ́gbọ́ lánàá àbọ̀lélẹ́ wípé ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin Amẹ́ríkà àti ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin House of Rep ní Nàìjíríà pọ́n méjèèjì ó jókòó wọ́n jọ forí korí fíkunlukùn wọn jọ wapọ̀ nínú yàrá kan náà lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n kankan náà jọ ń jíròrò lé lórí àbálọ rẹ̀ àbájáde rẹ̀ la fẹ́ fún yín lésì ẹja bẹ̀rẹ̀ ńlé ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin House of Rep Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti wá sọ wípé àwọn ò fohùn ránṣẹ́ sí ààrẹ Tinubu wípé pápápá tán bá fẹ́ kí àjọṣepọ̀ tó múnádóko tó lọ́rìn wà láàrin àwọn àti Amẹ́ríkà àti àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin wọn ń bẹ̀ kán jẹ́ káwọn lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ pé gbogbo àwọn financiers terrorism banditry pápápá nìkan dákọ̀ wọn náà fún wọn time kan dárúkọ wọn tán náà bá fẹ́ jẹ́ kí hàn lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n ti wá dá ẹjọ́ ikú báyìí wọ́n ti fòtélé wọ́n ti ṣe òfin wípé ẹjọ́ ikú náà máa dá fún bandit àti ajínigbé kidnappers pé gúrùpù kan náà làwọn àti terrorist jọ wà mọ́ ló tiẹ̀ ti dá ó ti ṣe déédéé báwọn ẹjá wa lọ sí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin ní àti fún yín ti ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin ṣùgbọ́n àbájáde rẹ̀ ló dìde. ní ẹlẹ́yìn tí wọ́n panupọ̀ tán wọ́n wá send report sí state secretary wọn lọ́hùn wọ́n ní United States ti wá gbègbèsẹ̀ báyìí pé the United States is taking decisive action in response to the atrocities and violence against Christians in Nigeria and around the world. wọ́n ní in State Department will restrict US visas for those who knowingly direct, authorize, fund, support, or carry out violations of religious freedom. This visa policy applies to Nigeria and its government. Àti other government náà ń bò míì or èèyàn kọ̀ọ̀kan individuals that persecute people for their religious belief in Nigeria. wọ́n níbi táwọn ó ti kọ́kọ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ inú ibi pẹlẹbẹ láti mọ̀ọ́lẹ̀ jẹ́ pé gbogbo visa àwọn làwọn èèyàn bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fi wọ́n sí yẹ̀yẹ́ pé àwọn mùsùlùmí àwọn jihadist mélòó gan ní lọ USA múlẹ̀ mọ́ nǹkan kan ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ìyàwó wọn wà ní USA dúkìá wọn wà ní USA ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe rí yẹn yàtọ̀ sí yẹn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ibi tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń tán máa ń lọ náà Saudi Arabia àwọn sáà máa ń lọ àmọ́ ìlọ Saudi Arabia gbogbo ìtẹ̀ ẹ kàn ń scratch on the surface ní gbogbo àwáwí tẹ̀ ń wáyé gbogbo ẹ worú Gumi nísìn ṣé Saudi Arabia ò lè Gumi padà wọ́n lè padà àwọn tán máa lé pọ̀ sí nìyẹn ẹ mọ́ sọ pé wọ́n lọ Amẹ́ríkà àwọn jihadis náà ẹ wo àwọn tí ò tí ì wá lọ rí àrọmọdọ́mọ wọn ò lè lọ irú gbogbo àwọn ajá olúwo fúnra ara rẹ̀ gan ti ń ṣe kinní sẹ́sìn òun náà tiẹ̀ ti bá ní Amẹ́ríkà tẹ́lẹ̀ Canada ló lè lọ ṣùgbọ́n Canada náà ń gbé ìgbésẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ irú ìgbésẹ̀ yìí náà la sì fẹ́ kán gbé irú ìgbésẹ̀ yìí la fẹ́ kán gbé ní Canada gbogbo àwọn tó ti pe ara wọn lọ́mọ Canada tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tán wá ń fi ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn da ilé rú Nàìjíríà wọ́n jẹ́ tán wọ́n máa jẹ́ tán wọ́n ojú wọn á bó tóun ó gbéwèé Canada dání ṣùgbọ́n òun ṣe ẹrú àwọn lárúbáwá tán ràn ọ́ lárúbáwá ìfún yẹn ń wèé gbogbo gàlégàlé wọn náà wọ́n ìfún yẹn wọ́n lè fún wọn ń wèé ẹ tí wọ́n á wo Mẹ́kà tán ń lọ Saudi ò fojú wọn gbolẹ̀ torí bá Amẹ́ríkà bá ti restrict kìíní wọn tán báyìí yóò send list sí mission Saudi ni ẹ wà á rí wọn ní lè lọ àjì mọ́ wọ́n wà mọ́ wáta máa ta mọ́ bóyá kan lọ mọ́ sí àjì wọn ní Palestine tàbí ní Iran ó dẹ́ mọ́jà àpẹ́jọ àníírí jù báyìí lọ a ní a fi tó yín létí ni o yóò yá kò ní yẹ́ ẹ lẹ́ o àbọ̀ rèé o Jésù mo jíṣẹ́ tẹ̀ràn mi ọ̀gá mi mo ti jíṣẹ́ fún gbogbo àwọn olólùfẹ́ wa o a fi pàdé lọ́la láṣẹ Ọlọ́run Èdùmàrè ìròyìn ayọ̀ ni nípele bá ṣe máa múnu yóò kan wọ́n lára bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Sharia ẹ rí wọ́n palẹ̀ Sharia mọ́ Nàìjíríà tí ẹ̀dùpẹ́ ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá tán àti ìgbé nǹkan burúkú tán àti ìgbésẹ̀ ìkùlé wa ká tó sọjí.
I would have addressed this video to our dear president, but since the international community, to be more specific, the United States is about to start a proper investigation into the alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria. So let's put it straight to you. I want to put this to Donald J. Trump, sir, if you can listen. I want you to just ask Nigerian government this basic question. What is the stand of Nigerian government in regards to the implementation of political Sharia? What is their stand in regards to the implementation of Sharia across Nigerian northern states? Right? Because let's tell ourselves the truth. The argument is usually the fact that some are of the opinion that Sharia should not be implemented in a secular society, in a liberal society. Right? And the last time I checked, Nigeria is not an Islamic country. Right? So why the implementation of Sharia? And why is the government keeping quiet about that? And if I must tell you the truth, this is one of the basic things you can even use to drive and even guide your investigation in regards to the persecution of other non-believers and even other non-radical believers, even Islam, non-radical Islamic believers. This is what you use to establish that. Because the non-radical ones actually believe in the fact that there is no point of Sharia here. And the last time I checked, it's even political Sharia. Why do I say it's political Sharia? Because since the inception of this Sharia now, this Sharia has not indicted any prominent figure. It's always centered on the masses. Most especially, the headquarters as it stands today now is Kano. Kano has a Sharia commission or whatever. And we now ask ourselves, what is Sharia actually hoping to achieve? What is that thing that Sharia wants to achieve that is not covered by the constitution or the laws of the land? It has already been covered. And if I must tell you, sir, the provision of Sharia is what has given birth to the likes of the Muhammad Sheikh or Abu Bakr Sheikhau and the likes and even others that are still perpetuating this criminality. Why do I say this? Because the preponderance of this actually started by preaching message. People like Abu Bakr Sheikhau or Muhammad Yusuf now took it upon themselves that it will not be enough just preaching about it. Let's implement it fully according to their understanding. And that is what has resulted into all this havoc that you're seeing happening in the country today. So please, I want the international community to ask Nigeria this question. What is the stand of the federal government in regards to the implementation of this political Sharia? Why are they still implementing Sharia? Why are they still enforcing Sharia? A lot of people are still in prison. A lot of people, even when they even claim that it's only meant for even Muslims, believers or whatever, even non-believers were invited to the Sharia court. The last time I checked, a person's property was confiscated in Abuja on the basis in a Sharia court. So what are they saying? So ask the president. He's making some little moves now, but ask him in the spirit of liberality, in the spirit of fairness, in the spirit of a good society. What is he saying about Sharia? Why is he quiet about political Sharia? Is it to be allowed or is it not supposed to be? Then we will not even talk of all that has given birth to these radicals. The last time I checked, a lot of these radicals are, most of this they are killing. They always shout and they always believe that they are doing the work of God. So why is the government keeping quiet? Why is the government not taking a stand in regards that? Why is the government not taking a stand in regards that? Let them come out and give people a blueprint and instruction that Sharia is no more practicable if it requires revising the constitution and actually reenacting it or whatever it is. Let it be. Let there be a liberal society. There's no way these people can jump this allegation of this Christian genocide or there's not or whatever. Let them play their propaganda. But when they play their propaganda, let them answer that basic question. What is Sharia, political Sharia, coming to address that the law of the land have not addressed? And why is Sharia at loggerheads with the provisions of the constitutions and other laws? Please ask that question.